Games to be sold, not told. So we finna keep everybody broke. They say time is money. They say money talk. I ain't got no time to waste it. You ain't got no time. Out and about, out chasing paper. The streets of my house and the house always wins like Vegas. Never down for the count. Second win, second nature. Found mine. Never had my hands out. Fuck favors. By design, everything tailored. In my youth, it was shell toes, no Chuck Taylors. We choke game, how to have a game show. It's still the same code game, so it's still the same code. We all pay the cost, pay dues. Move with the mind state that I can't lose. On the grind, push a hard line with my linemen. Back when I was young, they said it's all about timing. Till it's my time, all the stars are aligning. I'm a diamond in the rough, couple cuts got me shining. This game you cannot cop on consignment. In the field, all we do is execute assignments. The game should be sold, not told. So we finna keep everybody broke. They say time is money, they say money talk. I ain't got no time to waste, you ain't got no time to talk. The game should be sold, not told. So we finna keep everybody broke. They say time is money, they say money talk. I ain't got no time to waste, you ain't got no time to talk.
First, we get into this paper. See, I want it all, plus a mule and 8 acres. A lot of alcohol, few dad bags of paper. Run this shit like a ship and I'm the sailor. Cold, kinda like it's fresh up out the freezer. Cold, if she ain't talking bread, I don't need her. Soon as I meet her, I'm a fucker, then I leave her. It's the old Mac needs, treat them all like bottom feeders. Break it down slow for them folks that don't know. I'm a seasoned vet, black belt out the dojo. With a wide range of weapons, so I'm out the holster. Keeping all options open, so many ways that I can fold ya. Told you from the gate, never been about no play. Get it on the go, they never been known for no delay. The game should be sold, not to be told. Keep your mouth shut, don't have to break the mold. Mac needs.
Break the work down, it's fist to move. Push that work out, I distribute. Break the work down, it's fist to move. Push that work out, I just distribute. A young pack mover, shot to my consumer. Jumping out the foreign or I'm hopping out the Uber. Crew clocking chips opposite of you losers. Can't be broke as a joker, got no sense of humor. Just a young pack mover, shot to my consumer. Jumping out the foreign or I'm hopping out the Uber. Crew clocking chips opposite of you losers. Can't be broke as a joker, got no sense of humor.
I'm a D-boy, need abusive as users. I'm a D-boy, need abusive as users. I'm a D-boy, need abusive as users. You know I'm the boy, get money's what I'm used to.
Keep you straight from the gate, so I don't confuse ya. I'm a D-boy, need abusive as users. I'ma make noise, shout to my producer. I'm an entertainer, but I ain't here to amuse ya. Yeah, fuck with shooters and they all fucking users. Come through, wake that ass up like a rooster, hella early in the morning. Early bird gets a worm. Finna get rich for 'em, food for the worms. Cutting cocaine, dumping whole things. It's a cold game, make you run your gold chain. Hungry, but I'm moving in a keto state. For sure, beat the price on the keys in your state. Catch me running up a tire, fucking up a bag. Make me wonder how long will a good thing last. On my Curtis Mayfield, live a life I can't chill. Push a man, push the packs, all I do is make squeal. Keep it 100, I'm just numb, yo, I can't feel none of these suckers when they say they real. Stacking Uber cash, I'm an out-of-state supplier. Random Uber man, he'll get away drive. Just a young pack mover, shot to my consumer. Jumping out the foreign or I'm hopping out the Uber. Crew clocking chips opposite of you losers. Can't be broke as a joker, got no sense of humor. Just a young pack mover, shot to my consumer. Jumping out the...
What is up, everybody? It's Dynasty night on Tuesday, going into week 7.
Money.
7. What's up, Hammer?
What up, man? Feeling good? Made a beautiful trade in our
Oh,
fucking
shut
home
up.
Dynasty League.
Oh
It's
my God. Here we
hey,
go. This
listen.
guy fucking rapes dude for Bijan and is gonna come up here and fucking gloat about it.
No, I'm not glow. I actually had to negotiate it. He
It
wanted a
was a
lot
good
more.
it was a good trade for you. You stole him basically. Um, I don't know what
I
Bagala was thinking, but good trade for
so
you for sure.
he actually wanted. He was trying. We were negotiating for like an hour strong. So it wasn't like you just gave him up voluntarily. I kind of tried to strong arm him a little bit. He pried away Judy in my first Jimmy G. He was trying to pry away a little bit more, but I kind of held his feet to the fire. He really needed that additional first round pick. And I'm currently sitting at the 103. A lot can change, obviously, but I'm currently sitting at the 103. Kev, what's up, bro? So yeah, I needed to solidify, and I'm 1-5. So hopefully I can make a move here. But that felt good to get that done. I'm not even gonna lie. I saw you put the little shit emoji next to it, so.
Oh God. What's up to everybody in the chat? Daniel, Emil, Marty, One Nation, Kev, Foot Legends. What up, y'all? Thoughts on the Rams backfield with Byron gonna be missing the week. Rivers, I think, is missing like or 5 weeks or something like that. It says like MCL sprain or something like that. So yeah, it's Zach Evans, who I have stashed in a bunch of my
I
dynasty
saw
leagues
that.
on my
I saw
on my
that.
taxi.
That was nice.
He's now going to get a chance to in this backfield. I mean, it was beautiful when Akers left, and now it's just kind of waiting for Zach Evans to get his chance. Kyron not very efficient on the ground at all, but he was scoring a ton of touchdowns and he was getting the volume. And now he got hurt. I mean, he's a smaller back. That's one of the things you worry
He
about,
was
of
getting a
course.
ton of work. He was getting a
And
ton of
now,
work.
now you have Zach Evans, and they called up what's his name, Royce Freeman as well. But I would think that Evans is going to get the first shot, so we'll see. It's interesting to see, but yeah, I'm an Evans guy. He was one of my guys coming up into the draft, and then obviously he didn't get the draft capital we all expected, but I think he went to a pretty good spot where he can get an opportunity rather quickly. And here we go in week 7, and he's got
On
a
a
shot.
fairly good Rams offense with good
Mhm.
receivers, with a good tight end, with a good quarterback. So the Rams, and the Rams are very competitive. So that kind of just that elevates his his value and his stock. So if he can come in there and just be decent, he doesn't even have to be very good. He could just come in there, be decent. If he gets 15 opportunities a game, that's pretty much what you're looking for. And if he slides in as an RB2, then that's found gold if you have him stashed somewhere on your taxi spot.
Yeah, because a lot of my leagues, I go just 0 RB. Like, I don't want to tie up my assets in the running back,
Mm-hmm.
so I just have all these bench guys, and like
Mm-hmm.
all of them now have chances to play. Whether it's 1 week with this guy, 1 week with this guy, and I just kind of plug and play it. And if you're good at it, or if you're solid at all the other positions, you can pull that off. Like, you don't need a hammer running back in certain formats, of course. Obviously, every format is different, so let me
Yeah.
make sure I say that. But
Me and Diaz going toe to toe in
saw
a
that.
in a little negotiation.
Oh yeah. Marty said Hammer said fuck a third QB W trade though. Yeah, if you could get Bijan, I mean, fuck the third QB.
Yeah, what's funny about that, Marty, is it wasn't my sticking point per se, but I was like, you know what? I only drafted 2 quarterbacks.
Yeah.
So I ended up making a trade. I believe it was with Marty for Jimmy G. I ended up trading Goddard, got Jimmy G, and Michael Mayer, who's starting to pick up the pace a little bit. So that looks like a good trade for both teams. And I'm able to parlay kind of the Jimmy G, that third quarterback, into something that I could really lock into. But I felt like my team was good, and even we talked about this, and even Bagala and I were talking about this. He's like, bro, you're not a 1-5 team, like based on who you have on your roster. I was just running into a ton of bad luck, especially with the points against. I had the second most points against, and I was just getting killed every single week. So hopefully I can make a run, and we'll see what happens here. So yeah.
If you don't, that sucks. But you still got Bijan, so it doesn't even matter. Like,
Absolutely.
Foot Legends, I traded CD for Waddle and Gibbs, but I got Olave, Terry, and Nico. You traded CD for Waddle and Gibbs. So you got
Well,
Waddle
with the Monty injury,
I don't love it, but I mean, I don't hate it. I probably wouldn't have did it just because I'd rather just have CD. Like Waddle's been okay, but he hasn't been great. Like, is the breakout game coming? Like
gotta imagine at some
and
point.
then Gibbs is like, okay. I mean, you could just buy a cheap RB2. Like, I just don't feel like I want to give up CD for that.
Well, to be honest with you, on the surface, you wouldn't like it, but as I'm watching a bunch of these Dallas Cowboys games, they are not very good offensively right now, and specifically in the red zone. When I was watching the Monday night game last night, bro, they went from 66% touchdown rate in the red zone with Kellen Moore as their offensive coordinator to 37% touchdown rate this season with Mike McCarthy calling plays. So I know not a large sample size, but it doesn't speak volumes to the touchdown production you might see. So listen, I I don't love it either, but I'm not mad at it, especially if you want to kind of split CD into two really good pieces.
Yeah. Waddle has a better chance to get like 40 than CD.
CD
Yeah,
is
but
going to be more
CD,
consistent.
yeah, CD is gonna give you consistent production. So, would you hold Devonte Adams if you're 4-2 on a 2-game losing streak? Would you hold Devonte Adams?
It really depends. What are you looking for? What are you trying to do? If you're 4-2, obviously you were doing something right. Now, I traded for Devontae in our home dynasty league, and he hasn't been good in the 2 games that I've had him. So I've been a little frustrated, but you got to imagine, just like a Jamar Chase, just like any of these top wide receivers, they're going to have, a game or two where they just don't look great. But Devontae Adams is one of those guys. So if you're looking to trade him, what are you trying to trade him for? And what is the rest of your wide receiver core looking like?
I mean, and coming off the 2 bad games, it might be even a little hard to trade him also,
True,
so
the value might not be as high as it
yeah.
it was before
Kev
that.
said, dynasty trade in the inbox. Okay. We've got Amon-Ra St. Brown for their Higgins and Ridley. Guy has Garrett. Would you give up your St. Brown share for Garrett and a guy like Ridley? Would you tear down? Would you tear down from St. Brown if you consider that even a tear down? I mean, you could argue Garrett Wilson over Amon-Ra St. Brown, other than obviously the production as of right now. So,
Well, the
I mean,
talent,
yeah,
yes, but the production right now is just skewed in the Amon-Ra favor, and it doesn't look like that Amon-Ra St. Brown production's going anywhere anytime soon with Jared Goff and what they got going on in Detroit. So it really, and this is similar to the previous statement. It really depends on, do you need to split Amon-Ra into 2 wide receivers? Are you thin at wide receiver? Do you have a guy like Jerry Jeudy who's not producing right now? Do you have a guy like maybe Deontay that's coming off IR? So that's really kind of how you have to look at it, because Amon-Ra is he's a top 5 guy at the position, and it's just that simple. While Garrett and Ridley are probably top 15 guys with some upside.
I don't see. Like, I guess for me, the difference between Garrett and Amon-Ra St. Brown is not a lot as far as dynasty value, right? As far
Okay.
as what they're going to give you this year, of course, obviously there's a difference. So if you wanted to tear down, I think that's a perfect kind of tear down, because it kind of still keeps you in contention. You split it into 2,
And Ridley still has that wide receiver 1
and
upside. Now, Jacksonville's
yeah.
not playing well, but Ridley is the guy there. Like, it's not even close. Now, Christian Kirk has been coming along strong, but there's plenty of offense to go around in Jacksonville. So, yeah, I wouldn't mind it, to be honest with you. If, like I said, if you kind of are hurting for wide receivers because of either injury or lack of production from your other guys.
I'll take the Wilson and Ridley instead of Higgins and Ridley for sure. But I'd still probably take a Higgins or Ridley. I mean, it's just a tear down. It's an extra asset. You can move Ridley if you want to, or you just hold on to him. Depending on your situation. But
And I'll
yeah,
be honest with you, it kind of looks like Zach Wilson found something with Garrett Wilson. Like, that production looks like it's kind of going to be steady. So, you know, it looks like there's confidence there. There was one throw that he made on the sideline to Garrett Wilson. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about, where he kind of stepped back and just flicked his wrist like Aaron Rodgers a little bit. Do you remember? You know what I'm talking about?
No, I don't remember the exact play, but I think, you're right. As in, I think Garrett Wilson is I think Garrett Wilson is basically just telling Zach, like, bro, just fucking throw it.
Give me a
Like, if there's
chance.
just
Yeah.
one guy on me, just throw it. Give me a chance to catch it. It don't got to be a perfect throw, but at least give me a chance. Like, give us a
Yep.
chance. And it
Yep.
seems like that's what he's basically been doing lately, is saying, you know
Yeah.
what, fuck it. I'm going to just throw it and give my guy a chance. And you see sometimes it's not even a great throw, but Garrett Wilson is going up and
Yeah.
getting it. So
Garrett Wilson played really well
know?
against a good Philadelphia team.
he
So.
did. I'm kind of upset I got rid of him now, but I had to because it was the only way I could get. It was the only way I could get Chase, and I'm
Yeah.
contending. So I was like, "Fuck it, I got to get rid of him." But yeah. Mr. Discount, what up? Good evening. Do I trade Hopkins for Najee in the 16-team PPR? My RB2 is Jamal Williams. Redraft.
Well, Najee,
16 team.
16 team is super deep. Probably.
I'll take it for D Hop. I mean,
Right?
D Hop hasn't been really giving us much. Now Tannenhill is out too, so yeah, give me Najee, I guess,
Yeah.
and it's not even pretty at all because Najee ain't doing jack shit.
No, but he always has that opportunity, you know, to have at least some sort of stability there at the RB2 spot. I'm kind of in a similar situation where I got after getting Bijan, now Najee slides in as my RB2, and you feel pretty good if Najee's your RB2.
My guy might have the crispiest hairline of all time, Max Locution.
I
What's
appreciate
up,
that, bro. I definitely appreciate that.
Tyler practicing? I don't know. I didn't hear that he is he?
No, the last thing I saw on Kyler is like it's looking like week 12.
I heard it's a few more weeks. Yeah.
Yeah, I heard like week 12 or something like that. So the Kyler thing is very strange, and especially they're not a good team. You know, they compete, but they're not a good team. I think they really want to kind of get that pick. And listen, it's going to be tough to trade Kyler with the contract, but you know, if a team like Atlanta comes calling, you saw Atlanta's coach on the sideline with Desmond Ritter throwing a bunch of interceptions.
He threw two huge intos when that was the game, bro. When they had the chance down at the fucking goal line.
Yep.
I mean, you obviously see what Drake London can do, what Kyle Pitts can do when they're actually throwing the football. So give him somebody that can throw the damn football, and you won't have to act like that on the sideline. Like he knows that he fucked up. Well, not necessarily he fucked up, but he needs to fix the situation or try and fix the situation at least going forward, because that just wasn't it.
It's not good. And just imagine that, that team with a competent type quarterback.
Drake London's starting to come along. It's so funny how, every week, like, things change. It's crazy how it's like, oh, Drake London's a bust. He's a fucking bust. And then now all of a sudden, like, he starts heating up and everybody's all back up on him. Like, it's just funny. And that goes for a lot of wide receivers. I mean, a lot of the buy lows, of course, that you have right now, right? JSN, right? I mean, Quentin Johnson ain't doing jack shit. So JSN was even more involved last game. So starting to, their offensive line has been hurt. So they've been, deploying kind of that 2 tight end bullshit set. And last game they ran a lot more, slots with JSN. So that was intriguing and good to see. So hopefully going forward he gets some more burn. But Legend said, Jay saying Packers are the best team in the NFL. Because every good quarterbacks didn't play that good. Like Hurts had 3 picks, so did Love. So I think Love is better than Mahomes.
All right, for Legends, that's just not true.
Happening.
I'm a Packers guy. I think Jordan Love is going to be good. I don't know if he'll be great yet. I've seen some things I like. I've seen some things I don't like. But remember, he's not young, but he's inexperienced. And I think that matters. And the entire roster around him, especially at the skill position outside of the running backs, is very young as well. There's some issues with the offensive line. Bakhtiari's out. Elton Jenkins kind of in and out of the lineup. So I think this bye week is going to do them some good. They do get a get-right game against Denver. So if they don't take care of business against Denver, then I'd start panicking just a little bit.
Caden, what's up, Caden? I'm 4-2 in a 10-man PPR. Keeper, okay, keep 4. Superflex league, okay. Team is Lamar, Howell, AR, Pierce, Cook, Roshan, AJ Brown, Lamb, Pittman, Zay, Hopkins, J-Mo, Boyd, Pitts, Thomas. What would you suggest to upgrade at running back? So he's got Pierce, Cook, and Roshan at running back. Do we have any suggestions to help him get a better running back?
Yes, I do. So you have some good pieces here. Zay Flowers comes to mind. J-Mo, who had a big catch, right? So people are like, all right, cool. His stock might be high enough where you'd be able to package him with maybe a Hopkins or a Zay Flowers, or even a Pittman. Honestly, anybody outside of AJ Brown and CD Lamb, I'll be comfortable packaging 2 of these wide receivers and maybe go out. I don't think you're going to get Saquon Barkley at this point, because he's back and he kind of looks good. I'm not sure who the target here would be, but the combination of Zay Flowers, Hopkins, J-Mo kind of would be where I look to make a move.
I don't know if I'd want to give up Pittman, but I give up anybody else pretty much. I mean, can you get, I don't know, what running backs are we looking at here?
Joe Mixon?
Maybe a Joe Mixon, maybe a Brian Robinson.
B-Rob, yeah.
I know Monty is hurt, but he should be back sooner or later.
Eckler, I would kick the tires on Eckler. He had a bad game. I think obviously Eckler is amazing, but he had a bad game. He's been injured for a bunch, so maybe somebody's frustrated with him. Kick the tires on an Austin Eckler.
I'm gonna have to give up a Pittman for that one, but I'm okay with that if you're gonna get an Eckler, right? For sure. Matt Merckx, what's going on, man? What's going on? Appreciate you. Aiden, what's up, Aiden? Superflex PPR traded away Swift and a second for Gibbs and a. Oh my God, how the fuck did you pull that off? I like that trade. So you got Gibbs and a first. You gave up Swift and a second. Currently in the rebuild. That's an awesome trade. Got 624 first and 3 seconds. There's not even a question.
That's the way to do it. Well,
Aiden's bragging over here. I like it. What do you think about the trade, Hammer?
Yeah, I like it. And DeAndre Swift, listen, he's on a 1-year deal with Philadelphia. He's been really good. You cash that chip in for a much younger running back in Gibbs, and you go from a 24 second to a 24 first. How can you not like that? Yeah,
that's awesome.
Me and Diaz are really going at it.
For me, it's like Gibbs Gibbs is still, obvious for me at least, way higher up in dynasty rankings than Swift is. So I feel like you're getting the better player in the long run, and you're getting the first on top of it. It's kind of a no-brainer. I like it, man. Doesn't even matter if it's a late first. I don't care if it's a 112. Good evening. What up, Birdman? Thoughts on trading JT for Jefferson and Achane? In the way JT, you get JJ and Achane. I mean, can you wait for JJ and Achane to come back, right?
Yeah, that's the key here. And we've had a couple of different scenarios involving trading for Jefferson and Achane, and obviously they can be had, especially in redraft, because both of these guys are on injured reserve. So it looks like they probably won't be back till week 10, week 11-ish. Can you withstand it? Right? Jonathan Taylor's kind of looking like he's rounding into form a little bit. So it's a good trade if you can withstand it. Who are your other running backs? Can you hold down the fort what does the rest of your team look like? Where are you in the standings? This is something that I bring up often when we talk about these types of scenarios is where are you in the standings, right? If you're 4-1, if you're 5-1, if you're 4-2, then maybe you have a little bit of cushion. If you're 2-3 or 2-4, something like that, maybe you don't have that cushion. So those are all the different factors that go into this type of scenario.
Sure. Who can I try and load JJ off for? I mean, at first, is it redraft or is it dynasty, or should I hold him? I mean, if you can afford to hold him, then I would want to hold him. But if you had to get rid of him, I mean, that's tough.
You picked up Jamar Chase.
Well, yeah, that was in Dynasty, and that was because of, it just, the situation worked out perfectly where I was a kind of contending team and he was a rebuilding team that wasn't going to win this year. So, it worked out for him that JJ is going to be out. He doesn't have to take the points on right now. And I get Chase, and I could kind of continue on my journey to try and win the ship in the first year here. But yeah, so I mean, it's tough. You want to try and find a team that maybe is not going to be in it this year, or maybe a team that is. It could go both ways because some of those teams could wait and some of those teams can't if it's, dynasty. But if you're talking about just in redraft, I mean, you're only going to be able to trade JJ to probably a team that is winning right now that can afford to give up some pieces. So, right? I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's one of the things that you kind of have to maybe just put them on the trading block and see if you have a very active league. People are going to come to your inbox for a guy like Justin Jefferson. So my first initial advice would just be put him on the trading block, see what kind of offers you can field for him first, and then kind of work your magic from there and see what people are willing to offer.
Yeah. Aiden, what's up, Aiden? Team is Bryce, Pickett, Higgins, Flower. Oh, this is part of the other question. My bad. Okay. This was part of the Gibbs trade. Okay. So he's got Bryce and Pickett. He's got Higgins, Flowers, Gibbs, Javonte, Pickens, Pitts, Downs. He's got Kyler. He's got Roshan.
Yeah, for a rebuilding team, and you got 6 first-round picks.
Oof. Yeah, so yeah, you're looking pretty good, and I wouldn't make all those picks, obviously, but you can hold on to them for sure. For right now.
To be honest,
and then you can start making moves or
package some of those first-round picks and see if you could land yourself a hammer quarterback.
Yeah, or maybe you go after JJ, right? What team has JJ right now? True. Right? Can you give him some of these pieces to try and get a JJ?
Yep, some buy low action.
A contending team might want a Higgins, Flowers, Pickens, maybe even a QB. I mean, Pickett, Bryce. I mean, maybe you got to give up whatever you got to give up. I mean, at least inquire, right? So, and he's not going to hurt you because he's, he's out right now, so he's not putting points on your team. So that helps you at least even get a better pick. And if you've got all 6, I mean, I would take, probably the top 2 guys, maybe the top 3 QBs, whatever. I don't know where those picks are going to land, but if you can get, 2 QBs and a Marvin Harrison or something like that, I mean, then you're in business and you can move those other picks and you can start tearing up, from some of these wide receivers, and you could, you can contend already like next year. Just you have enough assets and you have the picks that you can move things around and start, tearing up at positions. So I like it, Aiden. You're looking good. I wouldn't even call it a rebuild. I just call it like a retool is what I would call it. If it's just a 1-year thing, like you have the assets to just start contending next year. I don't know. Do you feel any different about that?
No, not really. I think the big thing is be patient, right? Because you have so many picks and you have so much capital, kind of have a direction. And if you haven't seen kind of some of our videos on rebuilding team and making trades and stuff like that, like have a direction, pick what you want to attack first. Do I want to get my quarterback locked in? Am I going to make some of these picks? Like, have a plan or pick a direction. I think especially with that much capital going into a specific draft, just have a plan on what you want to do.
You could also look at, some of the teams if you have there first and it looks like their team's not doing good this year, you can always try and sell them back that pick and try and get one of
For
their best players. You tax them to try and get, one of their best
yeah,
players. So, there's you got a lot of options. That's the thing. You have a lot of flexibility with the picks, and you have a nice kind of like young team. So,
yeah, ascending assets is what you want.
for sure. One Nation said full PPR start 3 out of these 4. All right, so we got to sit one of these guys: Curtis Samuel, Shaheed, Reynolds, and Judy.
Oof, man. I don't think there's any locks here per se, but Shaheed looks good. Curtis Samuel, I don't
He's all
know.
right.
We were so for all our viewers out there, we were sitting, Steve and I, after the show on Sunday. We're sitting there, we're watching the thing, we're just bullshitting for like an hour and a half. And Curtis Samuel keeps making plays. And he goes, fucking Curtis Samuel, piece of shit. What the fuck, Curtis Samuel? And he was just out there making plays. So that was pretty funny when I see the
Oh,
name
like
Curtis
what the
Samuel.
fuck is this, bro?
Yeah.
It's supposed to be Terry McLaurin, Jahan Dotson, and we've got fucking Curtis Samuel getting the football. It's supposed to be Gibby getting all this shit out of the backfield and all, and it's Curtis Samuel. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
I
it really
mean,
pissed you off. It really pissed you off to see Curtis
it's just one of
Samuel
those
doing
things
work.
where it's like,
It's
things
bullshit.
just
It's
don't go
bullshit. Yeah.
as planned or as you thought. I mean, I wasn't on Jahan Dotson this year, like a lot
Well,
of
you could see why
other
people
people were,
were.
but well, yeah, I mean, he's a young, talented wide receiver, but the problem is this situation is just it is not great, and I don't think he's a Drake London talent, and
Right.
he's not even the number 1 on that team. So if he
Right.
was, then it'd be a different conversation. But because he's a number 2, not going to be a great offense. I
Quarterback's
don't
not that
love Sam
great.
Howell at
Yeah.
all. So I just was out on the whole situation. I didn't want to take that chance. But all right, so if you got to say one of these guys, who's it going to be?
Man, this is a toss up,
You've got
honestly.
JMO just came back, right? I mean, he didn't play a ton
Mm-hmm.
last week. Does he get a lot more involved this week? I mean, Josh Reynolds only had 2 or 3 catches, I think, last week.
Yeah, Josh Reynolds is probably the one I'm leaning here. Just because he's so far down in that pecking order. Now, then you look at the situations, right? Jerry Judy's been a massive disappointment, especially with Russell Wilson playing relatively well outside of the last game. So that's tough. But I still think you have to start Judy on upside. I think I'm starting Shaheed because he can make big plays out there. We've seen that. So I'm still rolling with Judy and Shaheed. And it's between Curtis Samuel and Josh Reynolds. Fuck it. Give me Josh Reynolds because he's in the better offense. I'm sitting Curtis Samuel down.
You're going to see, the thing with Shaheed is he's not consistent at all. It's very, very...
I understand.
Very, very hit or miss. Curtis Samuel's been on fire, man. Fuck it. Give me all
he
the
has, but
Samuel. I mean, I think I'll go with Curtis Samuel. I'll go with Judy. And it's either between sitting Shaheed or Josh Reynolds for me. And I think it's going to be Josh Reynolds because Shaheed, at least they try and find ways to get him the football a little bit.
Yep.
Where Josh Reynolds is like, he's going to have to make a big play or so. And just a lot of guys over there. But also Monty is down, so maybe they throw the ball a lot more. So you could throw that in there as well. So it's tough between Shaheed or Reynolds for me, but I'd sit Reynolds if I had to choose.
But the difference there, splitting the difference in Shaheed's favor, is he does a little bit of everything, right? He got 2 rushing attempts last week. He had 6 targets, and he gets work in the kicking game. So if your league rewards kicking, kick returns and punt returns, Shaheed does a little bit of everything, and all it takes is one time for him to break it.
Opportunity, yeah.
So he's got a ton of opportunities in each game. So yeah, so give me I'm sitting Curtis Samuel down.
Wow. Okay, I'm sitting Reynolds. Curtis has been pretty good for me at least. So yeah, I'll sit Reynolds. Hammer will sit Curtis Samuel. Thoughts on Fields if he's out for a bit? I mean,
when he comes back, he'll play. Yeah, when he comes back, he'll play. I think. Now, how far? I mean, how far are the Bears going to be out of it?
I mean, I don't know if that even will matter.
I think it does because then they get the pick.
Yeah, but I mean, they're not going to sit him though. Don't you think he'd kind of be playing just for his shot at whatever team is kind of looking at him for next season? Because
But what if he gets
he's
hurt
great for
again?
fantasy, but not for actual football. I mean, they can't win. So if they have these
But
2 top picks, obviously they'll draft somebody and they'll ship him off somewhere.
but if he keeps getting hurt, then his value kind of declines. What if he has a major
Oh,
injury? He's a running quarterback.
as
So
long as he doesn't
that's
get a major injury, of course, but somebody's
but
going to give him a chance. The only problem is
I
it'll be
agree.
a short leash chance. It's not, he doesn't have a ton of time to
Yep.
develop, like, you know what I mean?
Yep.
So,
Yeah, I agree. I'm just looking at it from the other side where, what if he suffers a major injury, right? He's a running quarterback. We see this all the
yeah.
time with these running quarterbacks.
Well,
They're very, very risky. So
yeah.
just looking at it from the other end of the spectrum. But I do agree on that short leash comment. I think that's very accurate.
Bogey in the building. What up, Bogey? That was good. Nick, what's up, Nick? Need to drop a player for a QB for this week. Drop Javante or Roshan or Pickens. What? There's no way that you have to drop one of these guys. There's got to be somebody else you can drop on your squad, unless it's a really, really
I was gonna
shallow
say maybe
bench
it's
or
an 8 or
league, I
10
guess.
man. Yeah.
But there's got to be maybe somebody else.
Could be 8 or 10 man, in that situation.
Man,
So
how
let's
can
just
you
call
choose
it
between them?
let's just call it a 10-man team, and he has to drop one of these three. Who are you picking? For me, it's Roshan.
I mean, I think by default it kind of has to be Roshan, even though I do like him, and he's probably going to be the guy for the next, few weeks until Herbert comes back at least. But Javante is actually playing pretty well. He's just not getting enough work.
Because
Does
they're
that
working
change
him
or not?
back. I think it does
But
change because they're working him back.
yeah,
And
and
also
then you got
McLaughlin's been good.
yeah. I mean, I don't expect Javante to be like a 90%, snap share kind of
No,
guy, but if he's 70,
70.
30, 75, 25, whatever it is, I think that's fine. And if McLaughlin is getting that other little piece, that's fine. But yeah, I mean, just by workload, I think you have to probably say Roshan. I mean, but yeah.
Yep, I agree.
Ritter or Carr, Nick said.
That's a tough one because even though Ritter had 3 interceptions, he still threw for 300 yards and 2 touchdowns. Like Derek Carr is really starting to piss me off, honestly. And just because I expect so much more from him with good weapons, right? He's got Olave, he's got healthy Michael Thomas for the most part. Shaheed has been okay, right? As your basically wide receiver 3. Kamara's back. Derek Carr is going to give you the more stable floor. He's not going to turn it over as much, but Ritter's going to give you some upside in the running game. And I think Ritter's actually Ritter's QB 17. Derek Carr's QB 25.
Oh, I mean, he did get hurt also, don't forget, and he had
I understand, but that was only one game, so
but I mean,
Ritter's giving you some rushing upside, dude. He's got 2 rushing touchdowns. I'm gonna go Desmond Ritter here, even though I don't like it.
He is playing Tampa. I don't know if that makes a difference or not, but
I'm
Carr's
kind of
got
just looking at
Jacksonville,
them.
who's actually been a pretty good defense as well. But
Yeah, I'm
I mean,
gonna go with
Carr threw
Ritter here.
50 times last game. I don't trust Ritter. I'm not going with Ritter.
I don't trust Ritter either, but I don't trust Derek Carr either.
I'm not gonna do it against Tampa. Fuck it. I don't trust Derek Carr either, but out of both of them, I don't trust Ritter more. So
yeah, I'm gonna take Ritter here, man. Fuck that.
I mean, it's a close call. It's not a automatic, so I feel it. Sober, what up, Sober? I got Breece Hall, Garrett Wilson, and Burrow, and T. Higgins. Trying to move off one of them so I don't get screwed twice a year. Is now a good time to sell Breece. If we're talking dynasty here, I mean, yeah, Breece Hall is obviously a huge asset in dynasty, so you can get a haul. And we know what we say about running backs is, try not to tie up, your assets or value in that running back position, because obviously all it takes is one injury and there goes all the value on your squad. So if you can move Breece for a top wide receiver, then I'm down to do it, or a quarterback if you need, if it's super flex, whatever. I'm definitely down to get rid of Brees. I mean, the value is extremely high right now.
So I look at it a little bit differently. I'm always looking to make my team better, right? But I'm not going to do it just because they play on the same team, right? I'm going to do it for the betterment of my team. I'm not going to do it because they play on the same team. I don't care about that. I could have Burrow, Chase, and Higgins, right? And like, listen, if these guys are going to ball out, then they're going to ball out. You just deal with the 1 week as you deal with it. So that wouldn't be the reason why I moved them. The reason why I would move them is because I would get top dollar. And for a guy like Brees Hall, you're probably going to get top dollar. So
yeah, no, I
I don't
don't
know.
agree with moving them just because they're on the same team. I don't even care. I don't care about that at all. It didn't matter what Brees Hall went for 170. I
Right.
think Garrett Wilson had a pretty good game that game also. So I don't think that matters to me at all. But yeah, I'd look to move Brees just for the value aspect of it and what you can get. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
we know wide receivers just they last longer and they hold their value. So, Brees is going to be awesome for the next few years. But
After that, he's going to
if
want to
I
get
can move
paid.
off of Brees and get me a top wide receiver or a quarterback in a super flex league, then I'm absolutely going to do that.
Yeah, I think Brees Hall is going to net you the most value here out of all of these guys because he's back. He looked like he's healthy, ready to roll. Garrett Wilson to a lesser degree because he's more dependent on Zach Wilson playing well. Brees Hall doesn't really need to depend on Zach Wilson to play well. Joe Burrow kind of is coming out of his, shell type deal. He didn't have a great game, but it looks like Joe Burrow's kind of back to being himself for the most part. And then T. Higgins, who's kind of been up and down. He has the injury, etc. So yeah, Brees Hall's going to net you the most value here. So yeah, it really depends on what you're going to get.
I mean, I'd rather just move the running back so that I can get, the value at a different position and be safe. Because we see what these running backs do. They just kill us. You pay for these running backs and they fucking just kill you. And then you're stuck and you got, your values locked in on them and then they have no value. And
See,
it's
the
just rough.
problem
I'd
is,
rather just buy them when they come or have these backups like I typically like to do and just plug and play all these guys. I mean, I have running backs to play every week. I have a bunch of scrubs, and for some reason, every week, one of them or two of them at least is getting burned. So,
see, the problem is with these running backs, they want the contract after the third year or somewhere in that third season, right? So that's when the rumblings are going to start happening. See Jonathan Taylor,
I don't laugh.
obviously Josh Jacobs a little bit later, Austin Eckler a little bit later, Saquon Barkley. Like we see all of this happen, and it's going to start to happen earlier and earlier. And it's going to be in that third season, that third off season, really second off season. But at the end of that third year, it's going to be like, yo, where's my money? And these teams are going to play hardball.
I mean, we see very few running backs get that second contract. And once they do, it's kind of like the value, at least in Dynasty, is only down from there. I mean, there's not much, that they can gain value from. It's just okay. Now they're old running back, and the numbers are kind of going against you. And
especially
people
with
don't
the
want to
usage.
people don't want to pay up. People don't want to pay up anymore. So, and Brees Hall is awesome. And I know a lot of people are like, oh, how can you say trade away Brees Hall? I mean, you trade away because this is Dynasty and we're playing, chess, not checkers. And we're trying to capitalize on value and opportunities in the market when they come. And, it's okay. You don't need to have Brees Hall to win the championship. Like you don't. Obviously in certain formats, there's different situations if you're playing in, shallower leagues and all that. But, if you want the longevity and going after the wide receiver, then, you go ahead and do that, or the QB, if you can move the running back for it. I mean, Bijan Robinson was a perfect example. I mean, he wound up trading him to you. And I'm like, Bijan has so much value. It's like, fuck it. I'm going to take advantage and I'm going to trade him for a quarterback to help me at least get a quarterback, right? No matter what else I got to give up. It's just using that value to capitalize. So
For sure.
10-man PPR Superflex, Kirk Cousins, Purdy. Barkley, Mixon, Monty, Roshan, Warren, JJ, Adams, McLaurin, Osborne, Dubes, OBJ, Atwell, Go Dirt, Hopkins. Is that the squad? My bad. Hold on, I missed it. Kenneth Walker straight up, and another offered Puka, Hunt, Palmer for JJ. Kenneth Walker straight up, Puka, Hunt, Palmer for JJ. I mean, that'll keep you afloat. I mean, Puka, Hunt, Palmer.
I would agree. I would kind of lean the Puka Hunt Palmer if you wanted to lean that way. Go back to his team. There's got Adams, McLaurin, Osborne, Dubes.
Yeah, you get Puka.
Yeah, I might do it, man.
You get Palmer.
He's 4 and 2.
You can play over all those guys. Yeah.
Is he 4 and 2? So yeah, I mean, I think at 4 and 2, you feel pretty good. That's a tough one, man, because I think you might be able to wait it out.
You could wait it out. It just depends on how long you think JJ is going to be out, right? How many weeks is he going to be out? Does he come back at all? I know there's those kind of rumblings as well. So it's just tough because you don't know how long he's going to be out, and he might be out until, the fantasy playoffs. I mean, who knows? Or those last few weeks. So can you really withstand that? How good are these other teams in your league? So I think only you really can assess that. It is a 10-man, so I'm guessing these other teams are pretty good too. So you might need the production.
And Puka's going to give you that. Like he is just on that team. I think I like the Puka side if you want to pull the trigger.
Need a QB, Pickett, Hoyer, Ritter, or take a shot on Tyrod. I doubt Jones plays. Fields is hurt and Stroud's on a bye. Pickett, Hoyer, Ritter. Who are these guys playing?
I'm not messing with Brian Hoyer. I know Brian Hoyer's been – he could sling it a little bit, but Devontae Adams looks like he still have some lingering issues from that shoulder injury. Hold on. I'm in my ESPN app.
I think I'll take Pickett maybe over Ritter. That's a close. I mean, I know Ritter kind of gives you that little bit of rushing, but
so Pickett is at LA Rams.
Yeah.
Hoyer at Chicago. It's not a terrible matchup. I don't know if I'd lean that way, but not a terrible matchup. And then Ritter at Tampa Bay. So all these guys on the road. I might lean Ritter.
Maybe we do go Hoyer, bro.
Maybe. But I'd lean Ritter here. But
Hoyer's got the weapons.
He's got Jacoby Myers. He's got Josh Jacobs. Michael Mayer looks like I said, like he had a kind of little bit of a bust out game for Michael Mayer there at tight end. Fuck it. Listen, if you feel good about Hoyer with no Fields and that Bears defense is not that good.
I mean, I just don't know how much upside we have in Pickett. I mean, he's going against the Rams. Maybe he does okay. But
I'd lean Ritter here, but you can make the argument for Hoyer.
I'm going Hoyer. Fuck it. What's cracking, Frank? What's up, man? T-Law plays or not? Would you pick up Watson or Howell and play one of them? Thursday's game's been dumb.
And Trevor Lawrence is also coming off a little bit of a knee injury on a short week. Let me check that out. So what is the Thursday game? Jags Saints. Tough defense. T-Law coming off a little bit of a knee injury. Looks like he's going to play, but does it limit him? I don't know if I'm taking the chance on Sam Howell. And do we know if Deshaun Watson is definitely playing?
He is playing the Giants, but I don't know if I trust him. And then you got Watson. We don't know if he's playing yet. Hopefully he does, but he's been out, so it'd be the first game back.
I think you got to roll with T-Law, honestly, in this situation.
I think you got to roll with T-Law, too. If he winds up playing, I would just play T-Law. Is there a chance that Howell has a good week? I mean, possibly, but yeah, I think you're just rolling with T-Law. What up, Peacock? What's good, man? Noah, what's up, Noah? Waller or Komet this week?
Waller was targeted, and Waller should have had a touchdown at the end of that game, at the end of that Giants game.
Mm-hmm.
If Tyrod Taylor plays, I think I like Darren Waller.
Yeah, I'll go Waller with Fields out. I don't know
Yeah,
how
I think
much
I'm
this
leaning
guy's going
Waller
to throw
here
the
too.
football to Komet, so or how much they'll be in the red zone. I don't know. But yeah, give me Waller. I'll take that.
Yeah, I agree.
Car is Vegas. All right, AJ, what up, AJ? Trade Puka and Michael Wilson or Addison and Dell for Kelsey. Puka and Wilson or Addison and Dell for Kelsey, or ride it out with Jonnu, Muth, Dolchich, Bellinger, Parkham, and Juwan. Win now and tight end is my only hole.
I like the way he put "hole" in air quotes. That's funny. Oh man, that's tough.
Tight end is the only hole. And this is Dynasty, so we're getting Puka, Michael Wilson, Addison, and Dell. I'm not giving up Puka. If I can choose, I'd give up Addison and Dell for Kelsey if you're just going for the gusto.
Jonnu's been okay though. Like,
He
and
has
this,
been.
and we had another situation where people were trying to move off of. They had Jonnu and they considered him like nothing, basically.
Kelsey is getting
Bro,
up there. So do we want to sacrifice, the young talent of Addison and Dell to
well,
go and get Kelsey?
if
Is
you're
it
going for the
worth it?
gusto, he said, I think it is. If you're going for it,
Now,
but
would you rather give up Puka and Michael Wilson or Addison and Dell?
see, the thing is with Puka, I think Addison and Dell, the two of them are better than Puka and Wilson combined. If I'm looking at it as a package deal, I think Addison and Dell have more production than Puka and Wilson. Now, Puka probably has the most production upside out of these four, but the combination of Addison and Dell, I think, is better than the
Who's the
combination of
best
Puka.
player?
It's Puka for sure at this point.
That's what
Because
I'm saying.
I think Addison is pretty close, honestly.
Yeah.
He's not getting as crazy. But the thing is, now that Cup is back, we've seen Puka's production decrease and his target share decrease, which is exactly what we knew was going. No, but it's
not
not
a ton. I mean,
hold on.
the last game obviously was bad, but you're talking about he still had 11 targets. And
I understand.
Cup had 13,
But
think, that game.
But I understand. But what I'm saying is that Puka isn't the wide receiver one that he was in the first 4 weeks, is what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I think he's awesome and I think he's fantastic. And I think him and Cup are a fantastic mix with Matthew Stafford as the quarterback. But how long is Matthew Stafford going to be the quarterback? Right? You can say the same thing with Addison.
Though.
I agree. But I think Addison and Dell are better as a combination than Puka and Wilson. And if I'm going for the gusto, I'd trade Puka and Wilson for Kelsey. But I don't think you need to. I don't think you need to if you have Jonnu. That's, I guess, the ultimate.
I don't think I want to. I mean, Kelsey's nice, but do I want to give up
lose all of
Addison
that,
or Dell and all that for Kelsey? No. I mean, can I just go? I'd rather just give up way less and buy a Kyle Pitts.
Dude, you don't even need
something else. I don't think you really need to. So if anything, maybe you use Addison and Dell and tier up at wide receiver, to somebody in the top 10-ish, 12-ish of So,
dude, in
that's what I would probably say to do instead of going to get Kelsey.
In full PPR, Jonnu Smith is tight end 9, and he's had 5 straight weeks of double-digit production. I mean, at a shallow tight end position, I understand wanting to go and get Kelsey. I truly do. But I don't think you need to if you have Jonnu Smith, honestly.
Mm-hmm. Shoot me the link. Oh, Bogey said shoot him the link. I got you, Bogey. Nick said I can drop Schultz, but I have Komet.
Schultz is actually not a bad play over Komet.
No. I'm okay with that. Nick Spoon was trying to fleece me, Steve. Talk to your boy. He didn't even tell me what exactly the trade was, but he said there was some heavy negotiations going on. So
there was. Listen, Diaz, it's a negotiation. Diaz got a little spicy. I had to settle
fucking
him
Hammer,
back down.
fucking Hammer's reading the fucking Art of War book over there, and he's like,
You know what? You know what's funny about that? I was actually
Sun Tzu.
I was actually gonna send Diaz a Sun Tzu gif. I literally was gonna do that. So that's a fantastic call by you. But yeah, Diaz, listen, it's a negotiation, bro. It doesn't come easy. It's not, we do what we do.
English said, "Hey, yo, we got the dub. We got the dub, fellas. We got the dub, fellas." Guy in my league wants Kelsey, and I'm finding it hard to trade him even with good offers for him. Got Puka and Devonta Smith as guys I start. Got Flowers, Lockett, and Dell too. Been offered Mandrews and AJ Brown.
I don't mind that. If you're gonna go,
I'll take that.
Didn't we have this?
I don't remember
before? Andrews and AJ Brown. You tear down from Kelsey to Andrews, and you get AJ Brown.
I'll take that.
Tingley, did you tell us about this in a couple of shows ago? Because I remember this.
I got a Instagram question here. Full PPR: Marquise Brown or Deontay Johnson this week?
Ooh, Hollywood's been fantastic, and we've talked about Hollywood a ton this year. Even with Josh Dobbs as the quarterback, Hollywood Brown has been really good. Yeah, I'm going with Hollywood. Deontay coming off the injury. Pickens has been good. I know they're coming off a bye. But give me some Hollywood here.
Yeah, I'm okay with waiting a week. So yeah, give me Hollywood here as well, and we'll see what Deontay does. Going forward.
Bro, Hollywood has 31 targets in his last 3 games.
That's right. All right, we're about an hour in. All right, so we're gonna start getting into the dynasty. Some tips for contending teams, and we're going to get into a roster review in a minute here. We'll answer the rest of these questions, and then we'll get right into it. Purdy or Love this week?
Jordan Love has a fantastic matchup against the Denver Broncos, which I do like. Brock Purdy coming off a not-so-good game. Brock Purdy, where is he? Monday night at Minnesota. So... 2 good matchups. Purdy's been the more consistent guy. Jordan Love, a little less consistent, I guess you would say. Give me Brock Purdy here, but you can make the argument for Jordan Love as well. I think Purdy has a longer sample size of being more consistent in a good matchup.
Ace, what up, Ace? AJ from Instagram. Oh, no, this is the guy we're doing the review for. No, we didn't get to it yet. We're about to get to it. In the next minute or so, we're going to answer the rest of these questions, get into some of the tips, and then we're going to actually look at your roster and look at your league and see what we can do. And he said, pick one QB this week, Watson, Goff, or Geno. You can't not pick Goff.
At this point.
That's what I said last week. Any golf question, I was like, bro, I'm not doing it again. Because I thought maybe without St. Brown, he wouldn't do as
and
well
that
week before. And he went off, so I'm like, this point has got to be Goff, right?
Yes, sir.
And we've been pushing Goff all off season, right?
100%.
Especially in Dynasty.
100%.
That he is going to wind up getting a contract. All he's got to do is do what he did last year. And how can he not?
Better. And he's been better.
Weapons. And he's been better. So hell yeah. 12-man PPR single flex. Should I trade away Amon-Ra for Derrick Henry and Pittman? RBs are Gibbs, Najee, and Sanders. Pup, Puka, and Judy.
Man, that cup Amon-Ra Puka thing is fucking, man. Maybe try and trade away Puka if you can, because you have Cup. You're stacking both of those guys. I would try and move off of Puka before I did Amon-Ra.
I'm good.
See if you could move that route. I would want to keep Cup and Amon-Ra. See if you could move off of Puka first.
Yeah, I'm not making that trade. Well, no, I'm not making that trade. If I could do that for Puka, then I'd do it for Puka, but I'm not going to do it with Amon-Ra. I'd rather just buy a cheaper RB to kind of throw in there if you could. rank the defense streams this week. San Fran versus Mini, Cleveland versus Indy, Washington versus the Giants.
I'm going to go Cleveland 1.
Mm-hmm.
Cleveland's just been wrecking people.
Yeah.
I'm going to go Washington number 2. And I'll go San
Okay.
Fran 3rd. Because I think the 49ers, while they have a good front 7, you can move the ball against them a little bit if you get a little creative and if you have some guys on the outside that can make plays. I still like TJ Hawkinson. I still like Addison. So I'll put San Fran 3rd here. Cleveland 1, Commanders 2, San Fran 3.
I'll go Cleveland, San Fran, Washington. Hell yeah, appreciate the feedback. I'm not huge on giving up any of those young wide receivers. I was a little worried about Jonnu and Muth. Yeah, I mean, don't be worried. As long as you're playing a top 10 guy, I mean, you're fine.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
You don't have to go crazy if you're killing at the other positions. It's not worth giving up all your depth for an older tight end. I mean, again, it's great to have them, but if you don't have to, no reason to. Mason, Mitchell, Evans, Hunt worth a number 1 waiver. I don't own CMC. I'm 5-1 to give more context.
Yeah, if you could pick up any one of these guys, listen, and you bring this up all the time. Get your hands on these backup running backs, like whoever it is, because more likely than not, throughout the course of a 17-game regular season, somebody's going to get an opportunity, right? We talked about Zach Evans. We talked about Jerome Ford before the season. We've talked about a ton of these guys, Kyron Williams, even last year. So, we talk about these guys that kind of get the opportunity, and if you have them stashed somewhere, you turn them into found gold. So I think any one of these guys is kind of worth a waiver. I'm a little less crazy on Kareem Hunt. I know he had a decent game, but pick up a backup running back. It's definitely worth it.
Yeah, I mean, Mason and Mitchell is tough because it's like, who is it? Mitchell did just come back from injury, but he barely got touches. Was that because it was his first game back, or is it because maybe Mason jumped ahead of him now? Like that, I don't know. So that's the tough part about picking, between Mason and Mitchell. Evans is pretty much the only guy there, so he's at least going to get the work for at least the next few games. You got to worry about maybe Royce Freeman as well. I don't know how they're going to deploy the backfield, but I would think Evans would get most of the touches, and then Hunt kind of just, kind of comes back to the Hunt that he used to be almost, and has a slight role. He's going to get, probably 10-ish to 12-ish carries and a few targets. So, I mean, you'd probably go maybe Hunt Evans or Evans Hunt, whoever you like, I guess, more.
That's tough.
Choose between those two, but I'd choose between those two over Mason or Mitchell, especially with CMC might not even miss the game at all.
Right.
On top of it, so yeah. Glad I made it in time. Yeah, we're about to get to this in a minute. Herbert Intel last night cost me. Yeah,
I actually won on that in my league.
There was a lot that kind of. How much longer do I keep playing Devonta? You have to keep playing Devonta. You just have to play him every week. There's nothing you can do. Exactly. I don't think you're gonna play him over Flowers. Would you play? I don't think you would play Flowers over him. Would you play Flowers over him?
I'd consider it. I wouldn't love it. And Frank, your last line is exactly what I was gonna say. Is you don't want to sit him and then he goes off. That's what you don't want. Now, the passing offense. Now I know they played the Jets, but they played the Jets without their 2 best corners, right? So that Philadelphia passing game has been very hit or miss. And I've been watching a lot of like NFL Live and obviously these sports shows, and they are hyper targeting AJ Brown a lot. Now Dallas Goedert's been going off or whatever, but AJ Brown, the squeaky wheel gets the grease at this point, and AJ Brown was really squeaky early in the season, so he's getting a lot of the target share. But yeah, you got to play Devonta Smith because he is really good with a really good quarterback. If you're not sure who to play, what do we always say? Look for a trade opportunity. That's kind of the general rule. But Flowers he's been solid, but Devonta Smith has the way higher upside.
Yeah, I wouldn't play him over Devonta. Ridley and Cook hurting you this year. Yeah, yeah. Steelers are Lions this week.
Lions. How do you not go against the Lions? They are at Baltimore. Steelers at the Rams. I think the Rams are going to beat the Steelers. I think I'd have more faith in the Lions this week.
Yeah, that's a tough one. I don't know.
Lions on the road as well.
Maybe by a hair. Rashi Rice or Dubes rest of season.
I'm going to say Dubes here, but it's very close. I talk about this all the time, especially as a Packers fan. I like the collection, and it's one of those situations where I can't key in on one specific guy. 1 week it could be Christian Watson, 1 week it could be Dubes, 1 week it could be Jaden Reed having a really nice game, Aaron Jones whenever he decides to plug his controller in and show up for a game. So I think I'd go with Dubes here. But Rashee Rice has played fairly well the last couple of weeks, so you can make that argument. But I think Dubes will give you a little bit of a safer floor than Rashee Rice.
Yeah, I'll definitely like Dubes as well for the rest of the season. I mean, Rice is getting a little bit more burnt. He just doesn't play enough snaps. He doesn't run enough routes. When he's out there, to be fair, he's in specific packages where it looks like they're trying to get him the ball.
Get him, yeah.
And he's great after the catch. He's not good at all, like man to man, but he can find the little soft spots in the zone where he just kind of sits there. And then his after the catch ability that's where we're seeing him do damage. Is he's catching and then running after, which is the right way to kind of get him the ball. So. Yeah, AJ's been going crazy over 125 for sure. Detroit or Washington defense. What's up, Will?
That's a tough one because
take the Washington in that one. Fuck
yeah, I think I agree. The Detroit defense is better, but they have a tougher matchup against Lamar. Now, Lamar hasn't exactly lit up the world. Yeah, give me Washington as well.
Washington as well. All right, so let's get into some of this contending team tips, and then we'll get into the roster review for AJ here and see if maybe we can give him some ideas of some moves to make while he's in contention. But I mean, one of the first things that I do like to look at, especially if I'm contending or not, is just to know kind of the league, like when is the trade deadline, right? Is it coming up soon or is it not till the last week of the regular season, or is there no trade deadline at all, right? It's important to know those things, to know whether you've got to start making moves now to set yourself up, or maybe you can kind of wait and see and play it more on a kind of week to week kind of basis. So that would be kind of the first thing that I would, and I know that's kind of simplistic, but a lot of people just don't kind of plan it out that way. And you can kind of have different plans in place, knowing that if you can wait or not, or if you have to make a move sooner or later, and moves could be more riskier, right? If that trade deadline is sooner, now you've got to kind of make a decision where maybe you're kind of stuck in the middle and it's like, okay, am I really going to make the playoffs? Am I not? And you're kind of stuck there. So, so what do you do? But, and I found that interesting in some of my leagues. It's very different. There's no trade deadline in some of my leagues. There's one at the end of the season. There's kind of the regular trade deadline that there normally is. So that would be kind of one of the first things I would look at. But yeah, I mean, you have anything just to add to that or anything to, comment on that about?
No, not really. Most of that makes a lot of sense, and it kind of puts pressure on teams, right? It kind of puts you in that, hey, listen, I got to make a decision now. I gotta really decide what I'm gonna do. Am I gonna sell? Am I gonna buy? Am I gonna hold? Right? Those are kind of the three phases that everybody's in, really: buy, sell, or hold. I think, and I just looked at ours for our subscriber league. It's week 14, which is the last week of the regular season. So it's pretty much after week 14. I think that last Monday night game is our trade deadline before we head into the playoffs. So yeah, no, I pretty much agree with all of that. It's just decide what you want to do, look at your team, decide, hey, listen, look at how many points you're scoring. Yeah, you might have a decent record, but I don't have a ton of points. Maybe I'm just getting, I don't want to say lucky, but fortunate, in a lot of weeks where maybe you're scoring 110 a game and the other team's only scoring 95, right? That kind of gives you a barometer of where you're at. Now, anything can happen in the playoffs, obviously, but kind of take a look at your team. And it goes the other way as well. You know, for example, in our subscriber league, like my team is pretty good. I feel like I don't have the record because I have a lot of points against me, but I figured I'm not going to sell. I'm going to try and buy and make a run. So you really have to kind of weigh all those decisions, you know, especially with that trade deadline looming.
Yeah. One of the next things I like to look at is just, identifying the pieces on my team or the assets on my team that I'd be willing to move if I need to make a move, right? Not everything is going to be perfect. You're going to have injuries. And, perfect example of what I had in one of my leagues is, I had Aaron Rodgers go down. I had J.K. Dobbins go down. I had J.J. go down, right? So I had to kind of identify pieces on my team that I'd be able to move if I needed to kind of recover, and one of those pieces I chose was, Brandon Ayuk in one of the cases, in the other case I had to give up Garrett Wilson. I really didn't want to, but anyway, things happen and things occur. But yeah, identify pieces on your team that, you can use if you need to, right? And do you need some more depth on your team, right? Can you tear down from certain players on your team, right, to pick up more assets or help you pick up a little bit more depth on your team as well? So that's a big thing for me is kind of, identifying, what you can move and also like where exactly is your strength on your team? Is it the wide receiver position? Is it the running back position? Right. So this way, if you need to make moves, you kind of know what you want to do ahead of time. So that's another thing that kind of I would look at next is identifying those pieces that you can possibly move.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. And also kind of just to take it a step further is identify what other teams need, right? Identify
Well,
what's
yeah,
out there, right? Just to take
that was
that
going to
like
be
a
the
step.
next point. So I'll let you bring that home. Go ahead.
Yeah, so just take it a step further and identify what, you know, what the league kind of is looking for, right? Are there a ton of running backs on 3 or 4 teams? So running back is very scarce, and if you have a good supply of that, then the value of those guys are more to contending teams. We see that all the time where teams are really running back heavy, like you said, really wide receiver heavy, maybe quarterback heavy in a super flex league. They have 3 or 4 starting quarterbacks. So you can kind of identify the teams where the value is on that team and where the value is on your team and see if you can make a deal there. And there's more likely to get a deal done depending on where the value is located.
Yeah. Another good point is just be really active on the waiver wire. You need to get the pieces that are scoring points. Whether you need those pieces or not, you are taking away the chance of somebody else getting them, right? Of somebody else having them on their team that you're competing against. So I
Yep.
would say always kind of just be really active on the waiver wire to pick up any kind of pieces so that other people can't.
Yeah, for sure. And I think that's something that I've started to do as well, even if you are, and I think we had a comment earlier where the guy was 5-1 and he was still active on the waiver wire trying to pick up these backup running backs. Because as you just said, that's the perfect example where, hey, I'm 5-1. I don't need any of these guys, but I'm still going to grab them because of the value, right? Don't look at them as the player in a nutshell. Look at them as what is the value of this relative to some other teams, right? Maybe some team is really hurting for an RB2. You pick up this guy off the waiver wire and he trades you a second round pick for him,
Second or a
right?
third. Yep.
Second or a third, right? Anything really, honestly, because if you're getting them off the waiver wire, anything you get is kind of found gold, or you could package them with something else and tier up from there. So those are all things to consider as well.
And then you can use that pick that you get, and then you buy something that you need. Okay, let me go and buy a Adam Thielen from a team that doesn't need him right now. Let me go and buy a Jacoby Myers, for that second or third that you just received. So those are always good. I guess that brings to the other point of, using some of your draft capital, your seconds, your thirds, instead of going to spending the first on Achan, I mean, go and spend a third on Zach Moss, Jerome Ford. I mean, any of these guys that are putting up, fantasy points that are just going to cost you a whole lot cheaper than actually spending, some of your best assets.
Mm-hmm.
And then bring me to my next point with the waiver. It kind of deals into the waiver wire, but get the handcuffs to some of your guys before the injuries happen. Perfect example. I had Aaron Rodgers. I never thought he was going to fucking tear his shit. So I didn't have Zach Wilson. And in one league, I had to spend a second to go get Zach Wilson. Another
Yeah,
league, I
especially in
couldn't
those
even
super
get Zach
flexes.
Wilson for a
Yeah.
second. So, they were trying to tax me. So I kind of was fucked when I could have got Zach Wilson for a fucking fourth, or
Yeah.
just a backup running back that I had maybe on my bench, or some, bum wide receiver maybe I could have paid before the Aaron Rodgers injury. And I could have had the backup already. So that's what I would say is another important part. If you don't have, especially like a third starting QB, make sure you're holding your backups to your guys. Anthony Richardson, another perfect example. If you didn't have Minshew, now you're going out and paying a second or second plus now for Minshew if A Rich is gone for the whole season, right? So,
that's actually a really interesting.
Try and get some of your backups.
That's a really interesting point that I didn't kind of think of. It makes perfect sense. And obviously, I've dealt with situations like that as well, especially in the super flex or even 2-quarterback leagues, my home redraft league, to a lesser degree. But even in those home redraft leagues where it's 2 quarterbacks, people are getting taxed for Zach Wilson, for Minshew, for Marcus Mariota a couple of years ago when he was the backup for Jalen. He was the backup somewhere in Atlanta, whatever the case may be. So it's crazy what these backup quarterbacks go for in these super flex 2 QB leagues. So that's a really good point, because then you end up losing value, right, on the back end by not being proactive.
Yep, you gotta be. Huss in the building. What up, Huss?
Huss, what's happening?
Let's see what else I got here. Take a look at some of those teams at the bottom. Right. Take a look at some of those tanking teams, some of those losing teams. What veterans do they have? Who can you buy? Which I kind of touched before with the Adam Thielen, Jacoby Myers type. Like, what can you buy with some of your picks that these guys are not going to get much out of? Then they can't use them anyway, so they want to get something. So can you buy some of these older players? And maybe you come off, some of these younger players in order to get some of these older players, right? When I had Garrett Wilson on my squad, there was a deal on the table for Stephon Diggs, but I didn't want to do it straight up. Like, I wanted a piece on top of it, but I was in a position where I didn't really have the leverage because I was a contending team and I kind of wanted the points. So I couldn't get more than that. Right. But it's just, trying to get rid of maybe some of these younger guys. If you got to give up a JSN to go get a Diggs or something like that, like if you're going all in, like you got to go all in. Unfortunately, you got to give up the young player, so if some of these teams that are not good have some of these older players, don't be afraid to give up, one of your younger players to go win the ship, And
listen, I think with some of these older receivers, especially at the receiver position, right, that's kind of where you're honing in on, because older receivers still can be productive. Devontae Adams, Cooper Kupp, Tyreek Hill. You mentioned Stephon Diggs, right? These guys are all scratching 30 and are top end wide receivers. So that just goes to show you the longevity of these guys. And while they'll still have 2 or 3 more productive years, you would think, right? The JSNs, yeah, I would, if I was contending and somebody wanted JSN for, Diggs or Cup or something like that, and I'm going for it for the next 2+ years, I'm doing it. Like I'm doing it. It's just as simple as that. So these receivers don't tend to fall off a cliff as much as the running backs do, or as quickly, I should say, as the running backs do. Usually it's more of a gradual decline for wide receivers. Some of them you can make the argument, Julio Jones, we saw that was kind of a really cliff kind of thing. Antonio Brown, even though that was a whole different situation. But wide receivers usually, you can kind of move them down in your lineups, like a Cooper Kupp, right? You can move him down from your wide receiver 1 now to your wide receiver 2. And if you have a Jamar Chase or Justin Jefferson, you feel comfortable with that. So I think that's a really good point in targeting older wide receivers or kind of more veteran wide receivers if you're going for a run.
You could also look at it on the flip side, right? Maybe you have an abundance of some extra wide receivers, that are a little bit older. Maybe you can go out and get from a team that is maybe still contending, even though you're maybe going against them. Maybe you can steal away some of these young wide receivers that aren't producing like the JSNs and the, so you could look at it on the flip side too, is don't be afraid to go and get a young guy also if you've kind of got the asset to go and get it, if it's going to help you in the long run as well. Obviously, depending on what you could get it for. But yeah, don't be afraid to also maybe take a chance on some young guys also.
And there could be some value there, especially if they're not producing like a JSN, like a Quentin Johnston, right? Where, or maybe you think they're a year away and you might not have to pay as much as you would when they got drafted, right? Because JSN, when he was getting drafted, was going for a boatload. And right now, he's not going for nearly as much.
Well, it depends on the league, depends on the GM. There's a
For
lot of
sure.
people that still, regard him
sure.
highly because it is still early, right? I mean, we saw it with St. Brown, right? I mean, it took him a while, until the second half of the season for him to kind of really get going. So, yeah. I think that's really all I got. Try to have 3 QBs if you could, because injuries happen all the time. When you have really 3 QBs, you really kind of feel comfortable when you're making that push, to go and spend a little bit extra. I always recommend to try and hold on to your first unless, you really need to spend it. But you want to have a way out. God forbid somebody gets injured, you can go out and get something. But if you can have 3 starting QBs, that really kind of puts you in a real position where you're kind of really in position to kind of go all in.
For sure.
You got anything else that you want to add about, contending, or any other tips that you wanted to throw out there?
Don't be afraid to go for it. I think that as an overarching point, don't be afraid to go for it. I know a lot of teams, especially especially those really, really hardcore dynasty players, they want all the young guys. They want all the young, productive guys. Don't be afraid to go for it, right? The Diggses can get you over the top. The Cooper Kupps can get you over the top. The Devontae Adams, like those type of guys can get you over. The Keenan Allens, right? They can get you over the top, especially when it matters.
Mm-hmm.
So don't be afraid to go for it if that's really what your plan is. And I guess that's like my biggest advice for anybody that's really going for it.
I know we all want to have, the best, youngest guys and the youngest squad, but that's not always going to win you a championship unless obviously you've got, the young JJs and all
especially
that are really scoring a ton of points. But, you have some of those guys you can build around, and then there's other guys that are kind of, expendable. I gave up Garrett Wilson. I fucking gave up Garrett Wilson in a dynasty league. I didn't want to do it, but I had to do it to kind of stay in contention and to stay afloat. And look, I mean, he's still doing awesome, but I had to kind of break it down to get other pieces to kind of keep my team afloat. And I don't love it, but I made the decision to go all in, and I said, fuck it. Can I buy back in sooner or later? Or, I don't know what's going to happen. I have no idea, but I decided to kind of go all out, and I just made the decision to do it. If it doesn't work out, then I start, retooling next year and seeing what I can do and start making moves. But I had a plan to just try and, compete this year. And, my team is decently solid enough to try and compete. So I went for it.
Yeah, don't be afraid, man. Like, fuck it. Reach out there, see, and stay active. I guess that's another big piece as well, is be involved, be active. We're in some leagues where people aren't so active, and we're in a league where people are very much active. So stay as active as possible. Put guys on the trade block. That doesn't mean you have to ship them out. That just means you want to see what's around, what's available, what people are willing to give up, right? Somebody might come in your inbox and blow you away with a trade that you like. Fuck yeah, smash, right? We see trades that people make all the time on this show where it's like, how the hell did he do that? So just be active.
Yeah, for sure. I usually find that the super flex leagues are way more active than the 1 QB leagues, which I love.
For sure,
So,
because there's way more value in a lot of these quarterbacks and draft picks as well.
yep. All right. So we're going to get into the roster review here. We'll answer these questions real quick and then get into the actual review. Hammer, you don't think Reed overtakes Dukes in Green Bay?
It's tough to say just because all these guys are so young. You know what I mean? And I think that the fact that they're all so young, nobody has really emerged, right? Dubes had, especially with Christian Watson out early in the season, Dubes and Reed were really good, and then Watson comes back, and it's kind of just a mix. So it's really hard to lock in on one of these guys, as I said before. So I think it's kind of it's really like I really think it's Christian Watson 50%, Romeo Dubes probably 30%, and then Jaden Reed 20% at this point, as far as the wide receiver targets go. You can make the case for Dubes getting a little bit more, especially in the red zone. Christian Watson's more of the game breaker, and then Jaden Reed is kind of that slot receiver, Randall Cobb-ish type guy. So I don't see him taking over this particular season, but who knows?
I mean, to be fair, Watson almost had a huge tutty when he got that horse collar.
He should have had it.
Horse collar tackle. So, you know, things could have been a lot different. Should I trade DJ Moore for Devonta Smith? Fields is out.
Yeah, I think I'm doing it. I'm gonna try and get Devonta.
Yeah, I do it too. I think DJ's at a very kind of
Hurts is there. Yeah.
Should I start Godwin or Addison?
True. Vikings against San Francisco. Tampa.
Yep, I guess the Falcons. They've been pretty good.
What did we say? Tampa's
Falcons.
playing? Atlanta.
Yeah, they've been pretty good on D2.
Give me Addison here.
Yeah, I'm going to go Addison too. That's hard not to go Godwin there because Godwin still gets, even though he's not like killing it, he's still like getting solid production.
Yeah, but no JJ. I know they're playing San Francisco, but I still like Addison's ability and the opportunity as well with no Jefferson.
Yeah, they got to try and get him the ball more. But yeah, give me Addison by a hair, but that's a close one. Redrafts trade Stafford with either T-Law, Purdy, or Geno for Burrow. It's a 2 QB league. Trade Stafford and T-Law, Purdy, or Geno for Burrow. Yeah,
I'm keeping T-Law. Anybody else, Purdy or Geno, doesn't make a difference.
Stafford
Probably
and
lean Geno. Stafford and Geno, maybe. But either one of those to get Burrow.
Stafford, Geno, Stafford, Purdy, Geno, any one of those.
Yep, any combination.
It is redraft, and T-Law hasn't been great. So what? I don't care. If you wanted to keep Purdy, then that's fine. But give up any of the two to get Burrow. That's fine. I'm good with that. Gustavo, what's happening, bro? What's happening, brother? Smokey the Cat, what up, guys? Trade Godwin and Najee to get Hawkinson. I have Moose.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm all right with that.
Yep, do it.
Fine, let's do it. Salute Gustavo. PPR 2 QB keeper 1 and 5 got offered Stroud, who was a 12th round pick, Kittle, and a 2024 6th for Mahomes. Should I do it? So, but you get to keep Mahomes. Is what I'm getting out of this. Or you keep Stroud, or you get Stroud and keep him. He was a 12th round pick. So you would get Stroud, and then you would still have a first because I'm sure Mahomes went in the first.
Yeah.
Right, if I'm not mistaken. So if you take Mahomes, do you lose your first? Doesn't that make sense, right? Because usually in the keeper league, wherever you take them, you lose that pick, right? And that's why he's saying Stroud was a 12th round pick. So how deep is the league? Like, how many starters is it?
Yeah, that's interesting. I've never done a keeper league. I have an idea of it, but I've never done it, so I don't have a ton of experience with it.
Does it matter? It's almost as like, does it even matter? Should you just keep Mahomes? Because if it's a 2 QB league, what's the chances of there even being a good QB out there for you to get? So it'd be basically you'd be getting Stroud and you'd get your first round pick, but then you'd be getting, a fucking Jimmy G, Mac Jones, or some shit like, you know what I mean? Like some quarterback, obviously, that nobody wanted to keep. That doesn't matter. So in that case, would you rather have Mahomes in that shit QB, or would you rather have Stroud in that shit QB? So
now I know this
looking
probably,
at it in that lens, I might
know.
just say to keep Mahomes.
So this may or may not matter, but who's your other QB, right? Because if you got a Josh Allen, if you got somebody like that, then maybe you consider it, right?
Yeah. So he said to start 10. Okay.
Who's the other QB? If you got a shit QB, I'm not doing it.
Trade
you got
pick rounds 1 through 5. Yeah. 6-0, trying to keep rolling. Good shit, Gustavo. I might just want to keep Mahomes. What's the scoring? I mean, did the QB score a lot of points? You know, I would, if I was me, I'd probably just keep Mahomes and just say, fuck it. I'll lose my first round pick, but that's fine because I'm not going to get another top QB anyway. So Wilson, all right, so he's got Wilson as well. Is that which Russell or Zach? I mean,
I imagine that's Russell.
He said he can't trade pick rounds 1 through 5. I don't know what. Okay, that's fine. But so what is it that you get Mahomes? Do you lose anything by getting Stroud? I mean, what's the plus to getting Stroud, who was a 12th round pick? Like,
yeah, what is I think
right.
whatever
He can't keep Mahomes. He can't keep Mahomes because he kept Mahomes this year. So you can't keep a guy for 2 years in a row, I'm guessing. So if that's the case, if you're not going to be able to keep Mahomes, then fine. I guess I'll take Stroud if I'm able to keep him. So that makes it a lot easier. I just look at it that way.
That's
all right, can Kamara and Zach Moss hold it down? Go ahead. What'd you say?
Yeah, it's just basically found value if you can't keep Mahomes. So then just get Stroud for him, and maybe you end up with somebody else in the draft.
Kamara and Moss hold it down while HN and Monty are out. Should I be worried?
I think Kamara will be okay. Zach Moss is more of a wild card here. Now he's proven that he can still be productive, but until they give JT the full workload, which could be coming anytime soon, right? I think it's still valuable to have Zach Moss and plug him in as your RB2. But looks like Jonathan Taylor is going to be kind of ramping up to his full workload pretty soon. What's the rest of your team look like?
Yeah, I mean, I'm okay because I think Monty, I don't think he's going to be out long. I think he might sit 1 week maybe. I mean, it's more of a pain kind of thing that he's dealing with, Let's take a look at this squad. This is a contending squad right now. Hold on, let me end this video real quick. Is that big enough? Can you read that, Hammer?
Yep. I got good eyes.
Yeah, read off the team real quick as I go into some of the questions that he answered and tell everybody about the league.
Quarterbacks.
Yeah, it's a super flex league. So
quarterbacks: Josh Allen, Jared Goff, Daniel Jones. Pretty good. Running backs: Tony Pollard, Austin Eckler, Derrick Henry, Joe Mixon, Roshan Johnson, Aaron Jones, Khalil Herbert, Deuce Vaughn, Josh Kelly, Samaje Perine, Latavius Murray, also really good. Wide receivers: Puka, Jordan Addison, Devontae Adams, Keenan Allen, Tank Dell, Michael Wilson, Mingo, Reynolds, Cooks, Booty, Xavier Hutchinson. Tight end: Baby Gronk, Dulcich, Jonnu, Donald Parham, Juwanna and Bellinger. And he doesn't look like he doesn't have any. He only has his 2024 fourth round, it looks like.
All right, so we'll give a little background. He's competing. Looks like he's in first place right now. Strategy is to try and hold on to the 25-26 picks. Keep a stacked team to try and win it all this year. Upgrade at tight end. Sell 1 or 2 of my older running backs. He's in the second season. He finished the season with the highest points for and max points for, but lost in the semis as a number 1 seed due to a bad week by some of his studs.
I know that feeling.
So GMs generally seem to value picks more than players, including young players. And then he had a couple, the Puka question that we had with Kelsey, and then, or try to work something out for Laporta, Hawkinson, besides improving tight end. Any other moves that you would recommend?
I think you're pretty much on the right track, especially selling off the older running backs. You have a plethora of them. You got Henry,
Mm-hmm.
you got Eckler, you got Mixon, you got Aaron Jones. There's plenty of value to be had there, in my estimation, especially from that position. So yeah, I mean, you have some older wide receivers as well in Devontae and Keenan. So maybe do you package one of each? Right? Do you want to go for the gusto and get Kelsey? I think you said Sam Laporta, which I like as a target. You can get Sam Laporta with this team,
Yeah.
in my
You might have
estimation.
to give up a young guy, maybe, but
So Sam Laporta can be had if you have this team. Would you give up a Devontae Adams because you have Puka,
yeah,
Addison, Keenan?
I would if that was a possibility, and we'll look at the Laporta team also in a second and see if we can kind of come out with some kind of trade. But he's got Josh Allen and Jared Goff, so he's good there, and Daniel Jones. All right, whatever, that's fine. That's the QB3. Because I think I want to get another like high end young wide receiver that's producing now as well. You know, with Devontae and Keenan. You know, you can keep one of them if you want, just as your veteran to kind of take you along for this year. But yeah, I definitely want to kind of upgrade at another wide receiver position, I think. And you do have some of those running backs that, you know, you can possibly move as well. Even a Roshan, you know, might be a young team might like him. You got Fryermuth and Dolchich. So yeah, all right. So let's take a look at some of the other squads. Let's find Laporta if he wants Laporta. What about Pitts?
Pitts should probably pay a little bit less for than Laporta. I know Pitts had a big game, so maybe the asking price went up a smidge for him, but I'd rather have Laporta because you have Jared Goff, which
Of
would be a nice little
course.
stack.
Okay, yeah, because this guy's got Hawkinson, so I guess that's why he's targeting Laporta because he feels
Which I
like maybe
love
he can
that.
get him,
I love that.
which is fine. So this team is DJ Alexander. Just take a look at this squad, Hammer. Let me see if I can find what this team's record is.
So you have Justin Fields, Jordan Love, Mac Jones. So he's actually hurting for a quarterback right now. He has Jordan Love and Mac Jones currently. Fields hurt. Running backs are pretty good. Brees Hall, Saquon Barkley, Jerome Ford, Najee Harris, Keontae. Wide receivers are pretty good as well. Decent, not great. Olave, Metcalf, Christian Watson, Jacoby Myers, Quentin Johnson, Gabe Davis, Shaheed. A couple of mores there. Mechie, Pierce, Palmer. And then he's got two really good tight ends.
Yeah, he doesn't have any picks, right? He's just got a fourth,
No.
I think you said. All right, so we've already used all the picks. So
This guy doesn't have any picks either.
he's got a third, I guess. So it looks like this guy's in fifth place. He's 6-4. In fifth place, points are decently up there. So it looks like he's probably going to be in the mix in kind of the middle here. So, and he doesn't need running back. So he probably is not going to take any of the running backs that you have. Maybe he can use a wide receiver. He's got Olave and DK, right? Watson, Myers. You know, maybe he'll take on one of these older wide receivers.
A Devontae
or Keenan, would you
I
give
would.
up?
I would.
I'd rather give up Devontae, I think. What about you?
I think it's tough because Keenan's been just fucking balling right now, and Devontae's kind of taken a little bit of a hit, especially since the shoulder injury. I'll be honest. I think either of them. I don't think the difference on a game per game basis is different. Keenan's playing better right now, but Devontae was really good to open the season as well. So right now, Devontae probably has less value.
Okay, here he is. For Laporta, the guy liked Dolchich and Dell. Okay,
Oh, that's a
maybe I
smash.
could sweeten it a bit to get it done. Okay,
Fuck yeah.
so
Throw in
I mean,
Aaron
first
Jones.
off, if you can just trade that for Laporta, I'd do
Right.
it right now. But
Throw in Aaron Jones to sweeten it.
if
Throw
we
in Joe
need to
Mixon.
throw in something else,
Throw in
I
Joe
mean,
Mixon.
but he's got some. He's got some running backs already, though.
Throw in Jonnu.
What about Cook? Cook's just had a huge game. Maybe you can give him Cooks. Would you give him Cooks to sweeten that up?
Fuck yeah, dude. 100%, 1000%.
And he needs. It looks like he could use a wide receiver too, right? So yeah, he could probably use Cooks here.
Dulcich and Dell.
Right, with Watson, Myers. I mean, Gabe Davis. Maybe he'll take on Cooks just to sweeten it up. See it. I'm fine with that if you could do that.
I'm more than fine with that. I'd be in the inbox as we speak.
Because I mean, then then you still have Keenan and Devontae to move also, like to try and do something else. So yeah, let's get that done, AJ. As Jacoby isn't very interested in Adams or older wide receivers. All right, so that's fine.
I don't think
does Cooks tip the edge? I mean, you said he liked Dell and Dulcich. Can you just offer that? Offer Dell and Dulcich.
Yeah, if you get it done for Dell and Dulcich, that's just an absolute smash.
I mean, even Michael Wilson, if you have to give him up, or Mingo, if you have to give him up, like I'm okay with doing that. Or just throwing him a 25-second. I mean, I'd be okay with that.
And I think because he has Hawkinson, he's more likely. Because he has Hawkinson, he's more likely to come off of Laporta easier.
Mm-hmm.
So start from least and then add on if you have to. So send the Dulcich Dell deal. If he takes it for that, you're in business. And then if he doesn't, say, hey, listen, who are you interested in? Just leave it as an open kind of slate and then negotiate from there.
Well, not even. I would just pick a guy on your squad and say, all right, what if I throw in
Michael Wilson?
Try and throw in Cooks on top. I know you said he might like older wide receivers, but maybe he just wants the production, or do you have to throw in Wilson? Do you have to throw in Mingo? I mean, I'm fine with throwing in any of those guys, or even a second-round pick, a 2025 second. I'm okay with throwing that in there too if you had to, because you're getting Laporta, who is basically like almost tight end one now in Dynasty, which is crazy. But it's not crazy compared to the production he's given you already in year one, which we don't typically see, right? So,
and you have Jared Goff with the nice little stack. I love that.
Oh shit! I forgot to send Bogey the link. My bad, Bogey. Let me finish this up real quick, and I'll send it over to him. We'll smoke one. Hammer, can you pull up what AJ's saying in the chat there as I'm kind of looking through these teams? Are you able to pull it up?
Yeah, buddy.
Or at least see it. Let me know what he's.
Yeah, I got you. Definitely can offer that.
There. And
Vite Queen is on.
Vite Queen, what up, Vite Queen?
Yeah, we got a couple questions from Adam, but I just want to follow up on AJ. Which running back would you throw in if he opted for that instead of an extra wide receiver?
Which running back would we throw in? I don't care. Any running back I would throw in.
I would agree.
I'd start with probably Aaron Jones.
I agree with that as well.
You probably don't want to give up Pollard or Eckler or even Henry. I mean, if you had to throw in Mixon, maybe you can ask for like a third back or a fourth or something just to kind of make you feel better. If you have to give up Roschon, I don't care. You give up Roschon. I mean,
yeah, you're putting the finishing touches on this team.
So, whatever it is that it's going to take, whatever it is that's going to take. Khalil Herbert is hurt right now. Maybe he likes Khalil Herbert. I mean, I don't know. I would give up any of those guys easily to try and get this deal done.
I agree.
So,
Aaron Jones.
Let me look at some of the other teams here. Where's Ham Desi? Ham Desi here is in last place at 1-9. It's got Mahomes, Bryce, Stafford. What was his QBs? Josh Allen, Jared Goff, Daniel Jones. Okay. Chubb, Sanders, Gibby, Zach Evans, Pittman, Debo, Kirk, Judy, Mims. Nothing we love here. Fookie Dookie. Where's Fookie Dookie here? Did I pass it? I don't see it. Maybe he changed his name. Shit. No, some of them, I don't know that some of the names aren't matching, I guess. Hold on. Let me see if I can find the other one. Here we go. Okay. Ketosis Jones is in second to last place here. And we'll go through all the teams. We'll just see if there's anything maybe that makes sense because you do have some young guys that some teams might like, right? Terry, Amari Cooper. Javante.
Looks like this guy has a ton of picks.
Guy does have a ton of picks.
It's also got A. Rich and Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, does he want Dell, Wilson, Mingo? I mean, could you get a first for some kind of combination of those guys? I mean, I'd be okay with that too. If you're able to just net a first, but Lockett. He doesn't need Amari Cooper or Lockett. I mean, if he's at the bottom there. You see anything you love on this team that maybe you might want to target?
He's not giving up Devonta, obviously. It's kind of his best asset. DJ Moore.
Or will he give up Devonta? Is he trying to get a better pick? Will he split Devonta with some of these? I mean,
if I give up Devonta, I'm asking for Addison. I'm asking for Addison plus.
Would you give up Addison and Dell for Devonta?
Is that what he's trying to do? He's trying to get Laporta.
No, I don't know. I'm just thinking of different ideas, maybe to,
He has a plan, and I think the plan is to get Laporta. And
well, I know. I'm just saying, taking it a step further than that. Okay, we've already established kind of what we want to give up for Laporta, but what else can we do?
I mean, if you want to come off of,
he's obsessed with having his own draft next year. So, does he want a better?
Man, he wants all the first round picks.
Cooper or Ridley rest a season for Chris Steezy real quick.
That's interesting because Amari Cooper had a really good game with PJ Walker. I think I'm still going to go Calvin Ridley, but I think they finish similar rest of the season. Give me Ridley on the slight edge. But Amari Cooper is really the only one balling out from a pass catching standpoint. Elijah Moore's not doing that great. Donovan Peoples-Jones, no thank you.
Oh, this team I didn't write back is in 7th place. Looks like they're 5-7. They could use some running back help. Can you? I don't know if you want to steal away one of these veteran wide receivers just to give up a running back. I'm just going to try and go through all the teams here and just see if there's anything that.
I wouldn't mind Ridley. I wouldn't mind Ridley on his team.
To give up like a Mixon or something.
Mixon for Ridley? I do that. Fuck yeah, I do that.
You give up Henry if he made you give up Henry?
I do that too. I'd rather give up Mixon, but.
Yeah. Just an idea.
I think you have so many good assets at running back, at least name value, guys that we know are going to get a good workload. I would definitely look to move off of at least one of those guys, whether it be Mixon, Henry, Aaron Jones, at least one of those guys, possibly two if you could package them.
This guy's a mid-team as well. Looks like he could use some running back help. He's got Ayuk, Kelsey. This was the one he was talking about for Kelsey.
Would you trade Devontae Adams plus Devontae Adams and Mixon for Kelsey?
Yeah, I do that. An older player, if this guy would take it. I don't know if this guy would take the older player, but yeah, I mean, if you wanted to try and get Kelsey in that sense, yeah. Um, I don't see anything else really. I love there. We took a look at this squad already. Pittman, Debo, Kirk, Judy, Mims, Thielen, Ham, Desi. This guy's in last place. We should try and get Adam Thielen on your squad, honestly, because you could probably get him for decently cheap if this guy's in last place right now. Nick?
Yeah, Adam Thielen's a good pickup right now. He's playing well. I do worry about him getting banged up with a little bit of the with the high workload as an older player, a little more risky.
Ave, Mixon, Watson. This is the one with the Laporta. That's by Burrow. That's by Burrow. Where's he at? This guy's in 8th place right now. He's 4-8. He's got Cheetah, CD, Dick. How the hell is this guy 4-8?
Sometimes you have bad luck. Joe Burrow
Dick
didn't play
T.
well early. Pacheco's been good. Goddard's
Maybe
been
he
pretty
thinks he
good.
can make a run. Can you maybe steal away like a T. Higgins with one of your older guys? Get a little bit younger.
Traded Devontae Adams straight up for T. Higgins.
Something like that. Something of that nature. Inquire about it. See what it's going to cost. Maybe you got to give up something on top of that, but that's fine. Maybe you can get a Jahmyr Gibbs for the cheap with one of your old running backs.
That'd be interesting.
This one was his team. Let's take a look at this. Kenneth Walker, JT, AJ Brown, Jalen Waddle. This team is Wolf. He's in 4th place, right? Okay. I mean, Waddle hasn't been great. Can we try and get maybe Jalen Waddle with a combination of one of these older players and a piece? What do you think about that?
Say that one more time.
I said Jalen Waddle. I mean, hasn't been great, but maybe we can trade one of these older guys and a younger piece for Jalen Waddle.
You would move off of like Adams and Dell.
So, yeah, something like that.
For Waddle, I don't know if that's a lot.
Necessarily. I mean, Waddle's a young dude.
I get it.
You lose a little bit, but you're getting your team younger as you're still in contention, though. At the same time, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think back to the original plan. I would lock up that tight end spot. Like go get Laporta.
We are going to do that for sure.
And then move from there because you're going to have to allocate some assets to do that. Now, it doesn't seem like a lot because the guy has TJ Hawkinson. So definitely do that. And then, yeah, listen, that's tough, man, because I think Devontae Adams is still going to be really, really good. Obviously, for this season, next season, I think he'll still be really good as well. And Tank Dell, man, I mean, he'll have his games. I think he'll be a little more hit and miss.
Kim Shady. Oh wow, 2nd place right now. But JJ went down. Are they willing? Is this a possibility that you can try and get JJ right now with some wide receivers and running backs that you have? Is JJ a possibility? What would you? What would we offer for Thielen also?
Thielen, you could probably. I mean, listen, if you really wanted to, you can go Tank Dell straight up.
Yeah, or you can ask for like a 3rd back or something.
Cooks. Try and get Cooks off that big game.
No,
Try to
he
get him
can't
out of
because
there.
that
Oh, he doesn't want the
team.
older
No,
player.
that team is the yeah, he needs the younger. That team is the last place team. They don't need Thielen, so they're not going to take an older player. So
Tank Dell, Michael Wilson.
I mean, I'd offer Tank Dell for Thielen and a third. Maybe you can get a second. I don't know, but probably not. So do that. That's what I'd probably offer.
Yeah, you got a ton of assets, which is really good. Like a ton. Not a
You
ton
know,
of draft capital, but ton of value baked into your running backs. I think that's where I would look to move off of, and the combination of Tank Dell. So if you could package Aaron Jones and Tank Dell, even Joe Mixon and Tank Dell, because then, they get the young wide receiver, they get veteran running back help. Everybody needs running back help in this, just always. So
Garrett
a guy like
Wilson's not the guy you want him to be right now, right? You want Devontae Adams and Tank Dell plus. I mean, you might have to give up even more than that. I don't know how this guy's going to look at it, but he's got some young wide receivers. So JJ's down. He might need to split up some of those guys, right?
Yep, for sure.
Or even a Drake London.
London's been playing well last couple of weeks, kind of busted out of that little slump that he was in early in the season. So it looks like Drake London's coming along.
And then there's this last team. It's got, oh God, Chase, St. Brown, JSN. And this team is third place right now. They willing to give up JSN maybe for some older players? Do you go and do that? Win now kind of team right here. Got Pickens, Godwin. Is it a shot to take a chance on just trying to get a young guy?
I think if he's trying to win, because I don't think JSN's going to give you a whole lot, as much as maybe a Devontae Adams or a better chance to win this season.
Of course not. But if you got Puka, Addison, and Keenan Allen playing, and you got Dell, you can mix in there as well. I mean, it's going to kill you that much to just get the asset if you want to go that route, right? It depends what you want to do. If you don't want to give up the older asset to get this way younger asset, then don't. But it's just a thought to try and take advantage of a team that is contending right now that would probably rather not have JSN and maybe have a better piece. Just a thought. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. I don't know. Looks like you could use some running back help right now too. So you've got running backs you can throw in there also.
Yeah, that's true.
But yeah, I guess that's kind of a deep dive. Just some different ideas thrown out there of moves that I'd be, throwing out there or at least inquiring about. See what you can get and what you can't. So
go get Sam Laporta. He can be had.
Yeah. Trade Ridley for Devonta. Did we go over this already? Yeah, I think it was Devonta, right?
That's tough.
I'd rather have Devonta.
That's tough.
Yeah. But yeah, you got any other, I guess, ideas really for this squad? I mean,
no, this team looks pretty much primed and ready to go. I love the Sam Laporta addition. I really do. I've been talking up Sam Laporta since basically the start of the season, and he's paid pretty big dividends. But with this team, like I said, you got a ton of value in some of these older, still productive running backs and guys that people know. So take advantage of the Aaron Jones, take advantage of the Joe Mixon, take advantage of the Derrick Henry. I think I like the Pollard-Eckler combination. And then maybe Derrick Henry as well. I like those three, and then see what you could do with Mixon and Aaron Jones. Maybe even Roschon, like you said, because he's a younger player that people seem to like.
Yeah, but you gotta send the trades out and see, what people See what people are looking for. I mean, every night I sit here and I'm probably annoying as fuck. I send out mad trades. Sometimes I send the same trades twice because I just be forgetting I be sending them out. But I just go through the league and I look through every single team and I'm like, all right, what could this person use? Or what can I get from this team maybe? And I just send shit out. And you at least get a feel for, okay, what are people trying to do? What are they thinking? Okay, you know what? I can't bother with this team. This team said they're gonna think they're gonna have a top pick and they're not gonna take no older players or want to sell anything right now. So all right, let me not bother with that team. Then there's the winning teams, and it's like, okay, look, I got these running back. I just sold Jordan Mason for a third. I mean, I don't need him. I'm not a competing team. Okay, give me the third right now. Now I have that flexibility, and it's a IDP, so I can get a defensive guy. I can move that third for a 2025 third if I want to, and now I just have that extra ammunition to buy players if I'm on the pace of competing or not. So there's just a lot of different things that you can do with the pick. So I'm just basically selling off any kind of running backs and or wide receivers that I can find, and get rid of to teams that need them. I got Mooney. I got Mooney the other day for I don't even remember. I think it was.
I think you were talking about this.
It was like Harrison Smith, maybe. Let me see if I can find it. What did I give up? Oh, I gave up Jeff Wilson and Harrison Smith for Darnell Mooney. Like, I'm not competing. What am I going to do with Harrison Smith or Jeff Wilson right now? Give me the young guy that can possibly gain some value and I can get something for, So it's just little moves like that where, because I'm just even, we brought up the being active on the waiver wire when you're competing. You got to be active on the waiver wire even when you're not competing, because I'm looking to get every little bit of draft capital that I can get to, have the flexibility to either make these picks or move these picks, to buy whatever I need to buy, or go into the off season with some of these assets and draft capital. And it's always just a constant. I need more assets. How can I get more assets? And it's simple. Just surf the waiver wire, have these backup running backs that people need.
Yeah,
and take advantage, bro.
And like I said, I like the value, especially in the running backs, that people are going to need these guys. Like, it's just that simple with the lack of running back depth, especially with all these 50-50 backfields. You got the ammo.
Sure. But yeah, I mean, I think that's all we got for that. Yeah, anything else you wanted to add on that squad real quick before we get off of that?
No, that's pretty much it. Good squad. You got the running backs, you got the older veteran receivers, and a younger guy in Tank Dell that a lot of people like that you can move. So you got the ammo.
Yeah, definitely be trying to move Tank Dell sooner rather than later, honestly, while his value is still kind of really high right now. So go and get Laporta and then see if there's any other moves you can make. Worst comes to worst, I mean, there's no moves you can make, but
definitely think there is.
You're at least good going in. You're at least good for this season, and then you can address it next season. But yeah, you don't really have any draft capital to spend on right now. So make the moves that you can, inquire, send some trades out, get some feelers, and then just keep it rolling, bro. Appreciate it, guys. Appreciate you, AJ. No problem, man. All right, guys. Any last questions or anything you guys want to throw out there? Appreciate everybody in the chat.
I think we missed Adam.
Oh, my bad. Adam, where are you at, Adam? Okay, thinking of oh, my bad.
Even before that. Yep.
Is Richardson droppable? Is this where we're at? My bad.
Yep.
Richardson droppable. He's holding up the IR spot for JJ. Yeah, I think he's pretty much droppable at this point. I said he's most likely going to miss the season with the surgery. So
yeah, it doesn't look like he's going to play.
Doesn't look good. I mean, he's a franchise quarterback. They might as well hold him back, get a better pick. Picking up Daniel Jones, Cousins, or Daniel Jones. Jeez.
Cousins. I'm rolling Cousins.
I don't care if he's playing.
Yeah. I'm still rolling Kirk Cousins over Daniel Jones.
Would you trade away Puka for Devonta?
Probably not. No, I don't think I'm doing that.
I don't think so either. But yeah, throw any last questions you guys got in the chat before we get up out of here. Appreciate. Oh, I forgot to get Bogey on here. God damn it! Hold on. I'm down to roll up another one anyway, so we'll talk a little bit more. Hammer, if you gotta go, that's cool. I'm gonna
Yeah, I
chill.
do. I gotta wake up pretty early tomorrow.
I'm gonna chill for a second. Let me
Yeah, I
copy
gotta.
this. My bad, Bogey. It's so complicated because I gotta like email the link to myself and then text it to you. Let's see. But yeah, we'll talk. We'll stay on for a bit longer here. But yeah, Hammer, you got to get up out of here.
Yeah, I got an early day tomorrow. Got some shit to do. Still got to take a shower, walk the dog, blah blah blah. But appreciate you guys out there. Definitely, especially roster reviews. Everybody hitting us up. You know, we love you guys. We love doing this. So yeah, I'm out of here.
Yeah, guys, smash that subscribe if it's your first time in. Smash the like for us. Trying to get out there. We're on the road to what 500 subscribers. So
We're almost there. We're almost there.
We're getting there. We're trying to get to the 1,000, of course, but doing the lives has been a little bit slower than kind of posting videos as far as getting out there. But yeah, I mean, the more people that we have in our live shows, it just brings more people. They're seeing, okay, we've got 10 12 people in here. We got 20 people in total in here on both channels right now. So appreciate everybody out there. Bogey, if you're out there, I just sent it to you. At least I thought I did.
All right, kid. I'll catch you on. Probably be on Friday-ish, maybe. Friday,
Yeah.
I think. Yeah. All right. See y'all.
All right, bro. Fight Queen said, "Yeah, let's roll one up with Bogey." Yeah, I just sent him the link. Let me. Hopefully, he gets it and gets on. My bad. He should have reminded me. I get so into it and I'm so focused that I forgot to send him the link there. But yeah, me and Bogey have made some trades in our dynasty leagues. So he's the one I sold Mason to for the third. Redraft 1 QB, half PPR, Josh Allen or Tua for Monty or Kamara and Stroud. Redraft Josh Allen or Tua for Monty, Kamara, and Stroud. If I had to choose one, I'm going to trade Tua. I'm not going to trade Josh Allen. This guy's just QB1 pretty much for the last few years. I'm not going to give up Josh Allen. So I'd rather give up Tua. That's fine. Give me Monty and Kamara. Stroud doesn't really matter. I guess he's just your backup. So, but you get Monty and you get Kamara. So yeah, I give up Tua for sure if I can get that package. I'm not even giving up Josh Allen. I don't think, unless you absolutely needed those RBs. AJ said I'd be receiving Allen or Tua. Okay, my bad. Maybe I read that wrong. So yeah, I mean, I definitely want Josh Allen. If you can afford to give up Monty and Kamara, I don't know what your running back situation looks like. Obviously, it's got to look pretty decent if you're able to give those guys up. So yeah, I'd definitely like to get Josh Allen. Tua is nice as well, but if you're giving up all of those three, then yeah, give me Josh Allen, not Tua. Who we flexing? B-Rob, Flowers, or Pickens? Let me pull up the games real quick. Probably gonna play B-Rob against the Giants. I mean, Flowers has been really good. He's getting targeted a ton. It's hard not to go with Flowers. I think I'm gonna go with Flowers with Deontay possibly most likely coming back. Let's go with Flowers, man. I'd be trading Monty or Kamara and Stroud for Allen. Monty or Kamara and Stroud. I mean, that's fine. Give me Josh Allen. I don't care. Doesn't matter who it is almost. But yeah, if you're getting Josh Allen, just give me Josh Allen in this situation. My bad. I don't know if I read it wrong off the screen there. But yeah, Frank, I think I'm going Flowers there. I mean, B-Rob's not a horrible choice either, but give me Flowers. Give me Flowers. But yeah, what else y'all got? Throw it out there in the chat. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Vi Queen, I mean, Kirk is trying to fuck us and not give us, the better pick in a draft next year. So, unless he's gonna fucking rally us back and then JJ comes back and we're like in the mix, like I don't want to be stuck in the middle. So we need to pick a direction. Do we have a chance? Are we going for it and waiting for JJ to come back, or should we just tank it right now so that we can get a damn QB? What do you think? What do you guys think? What should the Vikings do? I mean, Kirk has the no trade clause, so we can't just trade him. Like he has to approve that, and he already said that he doesn't want to. You know, he's a family kind of dude. I don't think he just wants to get traded. So Tony Pollard, Amon-Ra St. Brown for Austin Eckler and Puka. I own Eck and Puka. Pollard St. Brown. So Monsters, Field, Stroud, Chase, Flowers, Keenan Allen, Ridley, Kamara, Stevenson, Monty, Roshan, Edwards, Algier, Laporta, Komet. Yeah, I mean, if I can get Josh Allen, give me Josh Allen. That's fine. You'll be all right. But yeah, give me Josh Allen for sure. On our way to 3-3, like you said. Oh man. Well, we're not 3-3. We happen to be, 2-4. Can we get to 3-4? This is a tough part because we've got the fucking 49ers. Like it was Chiefs and and then the 49ers. Like it was important that we beat the Chargers that game. Like that was big. That was big because now we're 2-4 going against the Niners, who just lost the game, so they're gonna probably be coming out, to kill. And we've got to fucking do our thing. Like if we could beat the Niners and get to 3-4, I mean, we are playing at home, so I'm calling Bogey right now, seeing if he's about to get on or not. How many games you think Monty is gonna miss? I mean, it's a cartilage thing with the rib. Apparently, there's no break, so it's more of like a pain tolerance thing. If I had to guess, I'd say probably 1 game, but possibly 2. Hey, Life, what up? Yo, yo, how's it going, man? How's it going? Kang, what's up, Kang? It's not so bad. It's not so bad. I just want a solution at QB, and if that's gonna mean that we just gotta suck this year, then fuck it. You know, fuck it. The guy wants Monty or Kamara plus Stroud in either scenario to receive. Yeah, that's fine. I don't care. Would I rather give up Monty or Kamara? I don't know, to be honest. That's a good question. Kamara's been fucking solid as shit. Monty obviously on the better offense, better opportunities for touchdowns. So I'll let you decide that. It could be either or. It doesn't really matter. I think they're both kind of around the same. Monty is dealing with the injury right now, so maybe you say, okay, I'll lean Kamara because Monty is injured. That's fine, but it doesn't matter much. We're still getting Josh Allen. Got offered Christian Watson for my 2024 late first rounder. Do I accept or decline? I'd probably decline. I don't know if I want to play it first for Christian Watson. I mean, you could for sure. But what is your situation? I guess, are you a contending team at the moment? Are you a rebuilding team? Are you kind of stuck in the middle? What does your team look like right now? Is it a super flex league? What are your QBs looking like? So there's a lot of questions I have before I can fully kind of answer this question. Right off the bat, I would say he's definitely worth a late first. So I wouldn't say it's a horrible investment, but I probably don't want to spend my first rounder on Christian Watson, depending on my situation and the league format. So give me just a better idea of the league format and what your situation is, so I can kind of better answer your question. A life having a hard time knowing what to think about my dear little Rashard White. I don't like Rashard White. I never have. I mean, he's not good between the tackles. He just hasn't been playing great, and he's had his opportunity to be the guy. So I'd be worried about him if I were you. If you can get off him, get off him. But Chris Steezy, what side is better, Devonta Smith and JT or Ridley and Kamara? Devonta Smith and JT or Ridley and Kamara? It's a tough one because JT hasn't got like ramped up yet. I mean, I could say Devonta and JT, but it might take JT a week or two to get ramped up. And then Kamara Ridley. I mean, Ridley's kind of been hit or miss, hasn't been exactly what we've wanted him to be ever since kind of like week one. So that's tough. I'll probably go and then if the Colts keep losing, I mean, what's the chances that they give JT a ton of carries, if that's what we're talking a little bit more down the line. But I probably would want JT and Devonta. I'll take that little bit of risk with JT to have Devonta, but you can kind of go either side. Which side are you on, Chris Steezy? Let me know. Emil starters are Hurts, Monty. Also have Gibbs. Okay, Jeff Wilson, Tyreek Hill, Amon-Ra, Laporta, Amari Cooper. Who can I package for CMC? Jesus. CMC is beasting right now. You know how hard it is going to try and get CMC. I mean, what does that team need? You don't want to give up Tyreek Hill. You might have to give up an Amon-Ra for CMC. And is that even worth it? I don't know if I want to lose Amon-Ra and have Amari Cooper as I love having Cheetah and Amon-Ra to go with Laporta and then Cooper. So unless that team needs to split up, I mean, I wouldn't take Monty and Gibbs for CMC. So I don't think you can be able to make that trade. You're going to have to give up Amon-Ra, and I don't want to do that. I'd rather just plug and play whatever running backs I have, or buy a cheaper running back and plug and play than spend to go and get CMC. Trade Purdy and T-Law for Lamar. Yeah, sure. Give me Lamar. Give me the upside. Fuck it. Oh, it's 2 QB. Okay, hold on. Just traded Geno and Stafford for Burrow. Okay, awesome. Okay, that was that league from before. Okay. And then you want to trade Purdy and T-Law for Lamar. This is a redraft league, right? If I'm not mistaken. Trade Purdy and T-Law for Lamar. If you want to go for the upside, yeah, I mean, that's fine. If you want to do that. Or do you want to just keep the extra QBs? I mean, Smith and JT side, just worried Moss continues to play hard. It's a more even split. And like you said, if they keep losing, yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Do they keep losing? They paid JT, so they're going to give him money, but Moss will still be involved. Even if it's a 70-30 split, I mean, that's fine. That's not going to be a crazy big deal. Moss will get a little bit of work. Maybe he'll have a role, but JT will be still the main guy. So I'm not necessarily worried about that, because even at 70-30 or even 65-35, there's still going to be plenty of work for JT. I mean, we saw Moss get, almost 30 carries in some games. So I'm not crazy worried about that. I'm more worried about if they're losing, are they going to still give them 20 plus opportunities and burn him out? If they just paid him, I mean, they want their guy healthy. So if they're not going to win this year, I'm sure they'll they'll tone it down a little bit. But for right now, I mean, they're 3-3. They still have a chance. So for right now, we're safe. Right now, we're safe. Yeah, redraft. Okay. Yeah, I'm fine if you want to just go after the upside with Lamar, man. Song, what's up, Song? Would you trade CMC for Tyreek Hill? Redraft or Dynasty, Song? I mean, almost either way, I'd rather have the wide receiver, I think. It's tough to say you don't want CMC, but in Dynasty, I'm probably definitely going to take the wide receiver. I'll take Tyreek. I know I'm going to get a few more years out of him. I know I'll get some years out of CMC too, but I feel like the injury concern is a lot more higher on CMC and might have an easier time moving Cheetah, being that he's a wide receiver, than you could CMC if you had to move off. Okay, redraft. I mean, I guess it depends what your other running backs are looking like. Do you have other running backs that you can plug in and still feel confident with? Then yeah, fine. Give me Tyreek Hill. But I think it's just a matter of preference and need, really. I mean, they're both the top guys at their position. So, do you need Cheetah or do you need CMC more? That's really all that it comes down to. That's all it really comes down to. But yeah, I'm about to get up out of here, guys. Let me know if there's any other questions y'all have in the chat there. Before I get up out of here, I'll give y'all another minute or two to throw any questions y'all got in the chat before I get up out of here. Appreciate everybody that came out, guys. Make sure you smash that like, of course. Hit that subscribe if you are if it's the first time you're on the channel and you want to hang out, be part of the crew. Very true. I'm just 2-4, so in need of winning now. Yeah, absolutely, man. So you've got Pierce, you've got Jordan Mason, and Javonte Williams, I'm guessing. Gainwell. Yeah, I mean, you don't have a ton of great running backs to kind of fill in. So that's tough. I mean, your wide receiver core would have to be pretty bad, I think, in order to make that, I guess, make that trade. It looks like you can use CMC with those running backs that you have. Unless you're worried the injury is going to linger on. I mean, apparently it's that abdominal, whatever it is, the same thing Rod just had. Take care, Chris. Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you. But yeah. All right, guys, about to get up out of here. I'll be on again on Friday on my channel, Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday morning probably, but I'm only able to be on for a little bit on Sunday morning. I can't do the nice long stream that I was doing with Huss a couple weeks. I'm not able to do that. So you got Sun God, you've got Puka, Deontay Johnson on the bench. Yeah, I mean, so do you really have to make this trade already? If you've got Sun God and Puka, I mean, is Hill going to help you out more than CMC would really with that running back room? Like, it's not like you've got, Bijan in that running back room or anything like that. So I think I might want to keep CMC in that situation, Song. Peace out, Marty. Appreciate you. Vite Queen, appreciate you. Everybody else out there watching, appreciate all y'all. But yeah, about to get up out of here. So we'll see y'all Friday. Come through Friday if you want. Otherwise, hit me in the DMs on Insta, if anything, Dynasty Life Fantasy. But peace out, y'all. Appreciate it.
You ready, Jerry?
I'm ready.
Just want to make sure you're ready, brother.
Show me the money.
Oh, you didn't know?
Every day I'm hustling, every day I'm hustling, every day I'm hustling.
Put my shoes on, you wouldn't last a mile.
Summertime, wintertime, I'm on the grind. Yeah, I got the ring, I'm the champ, I'm the genie of the lamp. This is the gift I was given, so I just live by my hustle.
It don't make sense, but don't make a profit. So I hustle, ladies and homies. Make money, money, money.